Hello, people. Welcome back to my show. My name is Danny Graham. This is my show, Comment Chat, my channel here on YouTube. Every Monday night at 9 o'clock.
Hello, people.
I want to apologize for that. We're running a little late tonight, but every Monday night at 9 o'clock, we usually do a countdown. We pick one topic, and we go at it to see which we think, in our opinion, is the best or worst. Or we try to number them, rank them from 10, whatever, 8, whatever the number of movies we have. We try to rank them from worst to best. As usual, my same three colleagues that I usually do this with. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves one by one, and then we'll start the show. Go ahead, Mr. Sackhouse, you first up.
Cool. Thanks for having me, Danny. I appreciate it. I'm Sean Sackhouse. You can find me at Sean Sackhouse Reacts on YouTube, at Sean Sackhouse on Twitter, and I do a lot of pop culture stuff, comic book stuff, the nerdy, the geeky, the music, and so yeah, check me out.
And Ms. Mama Bear.
Hey y'all, Mad's Mama Bear here. You can find me at Mad's Mama Bear both on Twitter and on YouTube. Normally I do supernatural and some cooking stuff. I've been doing a little hiatus, but I'm getting back to it really soon. Okay.
And last but not least is Mr. Chris Knight.
How you guys doing? And I'm Chris Knight, one half of the Real Review 3000. The other person that I do stuff with is right above me. This crazy loon here. He's a crazy loon because he knows me and he's dealt with me for a long time.
Years.
You can find me there at the Real Review 3000 on YouTube, and on Twitter you can find me at Chris Knight 5150. Also, Sean and I have a website, chaoscentral.com, K with on chaos. So
it's chaos with a K.
Yeah, chaos with a K. So check that out. Lots of pop culture stuff on there. All sorts of different things. But Danny, thank you for having me again, as usual. I appreciate it.
Not a problem, brother. Before I go through the same three things, first, this is the first time you've viewed my channel. Please subscribe.
Oh, Danny, you're cracking up again.
Oh my Lord! I get them. Let me see. I'm gonna jump out 1 minute.
Okay, cool.
Hello.
So we are in control now. Darn it.
Is that better?
That's better.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. First thing.
Oh,
Maybe not.
wait a minute, Danny. If you go into your settings down below where it says Cam Mic, click on that. Click off if it's clicked. Click off audio processing on your mic. If you go to audio, it should have the
audio processing.
Yeah. Did you do that?
Yeah. Better.
We'll see.
Okay.
It could be you guys have a lot of usage right now in that area.
If this is the first time you come to my channel, I'm going to ask you please subscribe. Your subscribership is very much needed and wanted by me. I'm trying to get to my goal, which is 1,500 before Father's Day. Second, please hit the notification bell. Don't share the upload. Last but not least, please give me a thumbs up, because your thumbs up definitely help. Now, am I still good?
No, it's breaking up pretty bad.
Yeah.
Or something?
Okay.
Is there a storm moving in where you are, darling?
It is.
There's a storm coming in.
Probably do.
I blame Billy Joel. Storm front coming.
Yeah.
Yep. Storm.
Make sure we're all try to get this all set up and stuff. Make sure he's good to go. Okay.
I'm gonna pop up one more time.
Well, do me a favor before you do that. Pop out, close down the window completely. Just close down or restart your computer sometime.
Yeah, I'd actually restart the computer and hop back in, and
yeah,
we'll just keep conversating until you come back.
All right, don't worry.
All right. Not a problem. So, guys.
So once again, we are in control.
Leave it to Sean and I to find whatever names we have to be in control of something.
And I think it's the Legion of Doom. They want us to do. I think it's overdue to do the ranking of villains.
Terrence, I sent you the email, man. What's up?
Come on.
I sent you the email.
He can't pop in right now.
Let's see here. No, I can't actually.
Well, here, let me see if I can send this to you by text. Just 1 second. I think I can. Now that I think about it.
Parents, darling, it would be a lot easier if you just signed up on Twitter.
We'll help you through it. We'll teach you how to block everybody that you don't want to talk to, and how to make sure you don't get all the different notifications, and set it up only to talk to certain people, like cool people like me, Mads, and Sean.
I mean, Mads and I, sure, but you. Okay, Terrence, I just sent you the link via text. But yeah, Terrence doesn't wanna, yeah, he doesn't like I don't think he likes social media all that much.
I don't blame him.
I don't either. People are horrible on social media.
You put a person with an avatar. You don't even know if it's really them or not. You know, it's kind of like internet dating. You know, you don't know if it's really them, and you don't really know that what they're saying is true.
Internet. I mean, have you guys ever had like a really bad internet date? It's like, oh hey, and you're looking at him, you're like, what?
I've had a few of those.
That was my picture from 15 years ago. Really, only 15.
Only 15. Oh man. What a hard life you must have had.
I've had a few of those. The one guy told
that
me
tree that beat you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he got into a motorcycle accident and all that just like a week prior. I'm like, there's no reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
that was the date from hell, though.
Well, it's only because you've never gone on a date with Chris. So, you know.
No, this one will top even that. That would admitted on the first date that he was a cannibal.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe a date with Chris would be slightly better.
Wait a minute.
Slightly.
You went on an internet date with somebody that claimed to be a cannibal?
Yes.
Wow.
What did they eat for dinner?
We went for coffee, thankfully.
Could I have you for dinner?
No.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm like, oh wow, look at the time. I left my stove on.
I've got a thing with a guy now.
There's Terrence.
Danny must be back. Unless it was doing that. It was adding people on one of mine there for a while. Ooh, that looks a lot clearer.
Can you hear me clear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Cross fingers and toes.
We were just listening to Mads' story about going on a date with a cannibal.
Going on a date with a cat.
Yep.
Cannibal, yeah. He randomly dropped that on our first date.
Oh Lord.
That was pretty much my response.
Yeah, that's when somebody says, "Hey, can I have you for dinner?" You want to say, "No, you cannot."
Are you trying to be French, man, or just?
No, he was dead serious.
Oh,
that wasn't a flirty type thing. No.
Who would have figured you can't pick up a girl with the line of, "Hey, I'm a cannibal"?
I had a friend in high school that used to walk up to all the girls and kept saying, my family tree loops. Do you want to date me?
Oh my God!
Wow.
Pulled that on me once. I'm like, no, I don't want to compete with your sister. Sorry.
God.
Okay. Well, we've been on 9 minutes now. So since Terrence is the last one to the party, he's going to be the first ones to have a dance. So, okay, I forgot to tell people. Today's category is going to be who, in your opinion, is the best Spider-Man or the best Batman, and who is the worst Spider-Man and the worst Batman. And you can include those actors that played on TV as well as in the movies, as long as it's live action, no animation or cartoons allowed. But any TV, Spider-Man or Batman, any TV, live action movie, all that counts. Anything else does not count. So, Mr. Terrence, you go first, sir.
All right, so I got to pick best and worst from both, right?
Yeah. Who is your worst? Who is your worst and best Spider-Man?
Okay, my worst Spider-Man is gonna have to be Andrew Garfield, but the reason why I say that is because out of the three of Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was a little bit more aggressive than how he would normally be presented as the Peter Parker character, minus the Venom symbiote. So I was like, but he did have the humor though, so I'm kind of torn with that. But I would definitely have to put him as the worst, only because of what I just said. Um, and then my best Spider-Man, I would say, is Tom Holland because he the way that they portrayed that particular version of him and how they got Tom Holland to fill the role, I'm like, okay, this is what was missing from Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. That Peter Parker is supposed to be fun. He's supposed to be the guy that uses humor as a defense mechanism to cover up the fact that he's actually kind of a little bitch all the time. He's afraid. So that's what I've read about him for many years in the comics, is that he uses that as a defense mechanism, and he's just a fun character to watch. Like every time I've seen Tom Holland as the character, he's made me laugh, he's made me grin, and sometimes I get worried about him in a way that just wasn't working with the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man or the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And even that one from like the 90s that was on TV, which was a fail. Like he had like a short series and like 2 Spider-Man movies, which were awful. But yeah. So yeah, that's how I look at my Spider-Man.
Okay. I think we let everybody do Spider-Man, and we come back and everybody do the Batman.
Mhm.
All right, so Mads, your turn. What is your worst Spider-Man? What is your best Spider-Man?
Okay, we're Spider-Man. I'm gonna have to go with Nicholas Hammond from the 1970 series. And it's nothing against him personally, but it's just comparing him to the other ones. You know, the costume was trash. You know, it's hard to stand him up against the ones we see nowadays. Best, I'm gonna go with Tobey Maguire though, because he's the oldest of the three of them, and you know, when I see Spider-Man, I want to see Spider-Man, not Spider-Boy. Heck, I'm still in high school. You know, that's where for me he was, with setting the third movie aside, the most accurate of the three of them.
Okay. Mr. Knight, you are next, sir.
Okay, I'm in agreement with Mads on this. Nicholas Hammond. It was a necessity to have a starting point somewhere, and it fell to him. But it wasn't great writing. It was cheesy 70s, and you know, it just. I mean, I look back on it now. I'm sure when I was a kid, I was like, "Ooh, wow, Spider-Man, cool." But it was, you know, there was the Incredible Hulk, there was Wonder Woman. Those things took off because I guess it just was presented better. It's really hard to present Spider-Man and what Spider-Man can do with 70s technology. You know, when you look at the way they did the webbing, you could tell it was more like a rope. And, you know, when he'd swing on the side of buildings and stuff, you know, and then they did the Batman thing when he's climbing up walls and stuff. They did it flat surface and had him doing it worked for the 60s for Batman, not for 70s Spider-Man. It didn't look the part. And it's nothing against him. I'm with Mads. It's nothing against him. I mean, you have to start somewhere, but it's just the way it all came across. Now, with current ones, I like Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, and Andrew Garfield pretty equally. each had their pluses. Andrew had the snark and the sarcasm. Toby played an equal mix of a good Spider-Man and a good Peter Parker, and Tom was good with both also. I believe each of them brought something, unique to the part. But if I had to be held to it, though, I would go with Tom Holland first, and Tobey Maguire is a very, very, very close second. But with that said, Shamik Moore's Into the Spider-Verse portrayal is one of the best, if not absolute best version of it.
Yeah, but we said live action.
I know, but I'm going to put that out there. Just because. And honestly, let's just say something about Spider-Man here. There's been tons of people, if we were to count the animated, that did this. Drake Bell was in a lot of appearances. Robbie Damon, I think Christopher Daniel Barnes was the second youngest. The first youngest was Max Charles. Peter Souls was the very first person to portray Spider-Man in the 60s in cartoon format. Neil Patrick Harris has done it. Nicolas Cage has done it. Donald Glover, he's done it. Chris Pine has done voices for him. There's tons of people who have done this. So
yeah, but
I know it's just live action, but I think that's a sad thing that we're just doing live action, because I'm just saying Spider-Man has more of a history in cartoons than he does in movies.
Yeah.
Well, so does any character.
Well, not necessarily. Not all of them.
If you're taking a character that was created in, like in the 60s, like Spider-Man was, he's been in animation much more than live action. So was Batman. Even though Batman's been in a lot of live action movies, there's still an unlimited amount of cartoons that he's been in. Multiple Batman series.
Superman.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to address this. That's below us with Walter.
Spider Punch.
Yeah, Spider Punch talked into space. Tom Holland, Spider-Man can't do that. There's nothing saying he can't, because Spider-Man's muscles are not determined on the same factor as Hulk's or anybody else's, because he has the insect aspect where, like, most insects can lift well beyond their weight without, being all bulked up.
That was the whole thing with Spider-Man always being like a scrawny kid.
Mm-hmm.
You never think he was that strong.
Yeah, he's hyper strong, hyper flexible for his frame.
Well, I mean, I would never call Spider-Man scrawny.
No.
Yeah.
No. But I mean,
like Matt said, it's different. He may not look strong, but that's his character design. It's not to look like that. Yep. His strength comes from a different place.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, if you look at him in the comic books, though, he has all kinds of muscles. I wouldn't look at him and go, man, that dude is weak over there.
Well, look at what Tobey Maguire did. It wasn't about bulky. It was about, I guess you'd say, form.
But he was still a really good size.
Yeah, he was, but he wasn't oversized.
No, but he was still buff, though.
No, he's not.
I don't know. I like all three of the modern ones. And I've said it before. If you mashed them all together, you'd have the perfect, Spider-Man.
And I think that's the thing right there. They each equally did good things. And it's really hard to tell, because I liked the Amazing Spider-Man stuff. I really did like Andrew Garfield. I just don't. I don't know.
Just the second one that was a mess.
It was. And oh god, they went so many weird places with that.
I don't think he was a mess. I think
the script was, but he was good.
The Electro was a bad character. It was played the wrong way.
Yeah,
Jamie Foxx. You can't always get a comedian or a high.
Yeah.
A big name can always pull it off. Those are always equate to pulling off a big time villain.
Yep.
To me, I think Jake Gyllenhaal was perfect.
He's always good.
Was a perfect villain.
Oh yeah.
Mysterio is not my favorite comic book villain, but in the movies, he's my favorite villain so far.
I loved how they did that.
Fishbowl Head for sure was a great villain. I really enjoyed it.
Which one?
Fishbowl Head.
Yeah, he's like one of the top tier MCU villains, because most of their villains just come on.
I mean, he was very, very comics accurate too, which I really appreciated.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Chris, is your. I'm sorry, Sean, is your turn.
I was gonna say, let's not give Chris another shot. So the Spider-Man one is actually really difficult for me because there hasn't been a live action Spider-Man in the movies that I've really not liked. I like each one of them for a different reason. They each nail an aspect of Peter Parker or the Spider-Man persona better than the other. Like there's something about them that they each do better than the other one did. And I think, like Mad said, if you combine all three of them, I think you'd have the best Spider-Man. So I guess if I had to choose my favorite live action out of the three, it would probably be Andrew Garfield with a very close second for Tom Holland. And my least favorite is probably going to be Tobey Maguire, only because
You're judging him on Spider-Man 3, aren't you?
no. I'm judging him on how. No.
That's terrible.
That was horrible. But no, I'm judging him just because I think Tobey Maguire was too old to be cast in the role. I think Spider-Man shouldn't be cast out of like your early 20s.
Yeah, he was a grown ass man, Sean.
Yeah. Absolutely. But
so he's worse than the Nicholas Hammond.
Uh-huh.
I never actually saw those, so
I can't blame Nicholas Hammond because it's like Tony Stark dad said, he created that new element, but he didn't have the sufficient technology there to make it like Tony did.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas Hammond did all he could do with that script, but of course we know that Spider-Man was crap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll wait my turn.
Okay.
No, but the whole thing was that classic 70s cheese. Which you guys know me, I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I was like 10 years old.
That's why this one was really hard for me, because I spent all week debating.
I finished up my list 2 hours ago.
Yes.
I believe that.
Yeah, I finished my list when I saw them for the first time.
Exactly. That's all the deliberating I needed.
That's all you had, Sean?
That's all I have.
I'm going to vote. My worst is Tobey Maguire, and I'm going to be a little more technical. I did not like the organic webbing. I did not like the fact that I don't feel good, so I'm going to lose my powers, and then when I get pissed off, my powers magically come back. I don't think that he and Mary Jane really connected. And in the comic books, there's a lot of sexual tension and stuff there. I saw zero of that in this one. Now, my favorite is Andrew Garfield because I believe that he was actually in love with Gwen Stacy. I can see the emotion. I can see the affection between the two of those. Spider-Man that I know talks a lot of junk when he's fighting, like Terrence said, as a defense mechanism. Andrew Garfield did that the best of me. Now, you can't say Tom Holland because a lot of the people on this panel said he is Iron Man Jr.
Yeah.
Spider-Man that I know is not Iron Man Jr. Andrew Garfield made his own web shooters. He was able to figure out his dad's formula and the lizard thing, and he was using his brains and his genius intellect.
In Homecoming, he does all that.
In
Homecoming, he does all that.
Well, Danny, to be fair to your point, you are right. He's Iron Man Jr., but there is a precedence for that in the comics. It's called Civil War. So what Kevin Feige decided to do is he took a short period where Spider-Man looked up to Iron Man, because in that storyline, he turned on him when he realized that Iron Man was an evil asshole. And then he jumped ship and went to Captain America's side. But what Kevin Feige did was he stretched that to be the whole thing instead of just a small segment.
Okay. I'm not doubting that, but and I'm sure you're actually correct. I'm just saying, based on what I've seen, to me, Andrew Garfield was the better Spider-Man out of the three.
Right.
I connected with him more. Like his take on it, especially the last scene when he was fighting Rhino, how he grabbed the microphone and was talking and interacting. That's what I could see Spider-Man doing.
But Tom Holland did that too. Tom Holland was interactive with people during fights and stuff.
I just think Garfield was better at it. I'm not saying that he never did it.
Andrew was much more. He had much better dialogue, and it's the way that he was written, as opposed to.
I don't blame that on the actor. I blame that on the writing.
Well, no, but we're not talking about like as far as like the actor. We're talking about the betrayal. Betrayal of.
But you know what? There's some directors that aren't going to let you ad lib, and I mean, if they let these other people ad lib it, they might know that I can ad lib and play it how I want to. They may not have had that chance. I'm just saying we don't know why the others weren't like that.
We're not saying that. We're just going by going by what we know, and that's just what we've seen.
So let's do this.
Danny, you're right though. Like, because I mean, when I was reading Spider-Man comics, Danny, like the thing is that we knew from a reader's perspective that he was terrified, but he would try his damnedest not to let the person who he was fighting know about that.
Yeah.
Because you're never supposed to show your weaknesses to your opponent. You're supposed to come across as the most invincible thing in existence.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, real quick, I think that's why people like the whole like Into the Spider-Verse Spider-Man, because there is that moment where he knows he's scared, but yet he can't. So yeah, I just wanted to make that point. Hi everybody. Sorry I'm late.
Hey,
that's a great point.
In fact, Orange, you're up next. We're doing the Spider-Man first.
I have something to say after he's done, though.
Of course you do.
Yeah, of course I do.
Oh, go ahead and say it right now, man.
Well, I was going to say, now how we all heard the rumors that along with this Disney Sony deal, that the next Into the Spider-Verse actually is going to have live action segments where they're going to actually, supposedly, the rumor is, they're going to have Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland all in it.
I thought that they were just doing a live action Spider-Verse separately.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
What I've heard now is they're going to tie it into the other one and make it a sequel.
Well, I mean, I've heard both of those things.
Yeah, I mean,
how about we just wait and see? Because I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to get some stuff.
We're going to get something like that.
Yeah.
I personally would like a standalone Spider-Verse movie. Not in the a different storyline than what they did with Into the Spider-Verse, the cartoon and all that stuff. To keep that its own entity, but do something a little different with the live action stuff.
Yeah,
I agree 100%.
But it'd be cool to have all three of those guys do it.
Yeah, and you could do that once Spider-Man reverts completely back to Sony. You could do the whole Madam Web thing, like Danny said before, and you could introduce
Spider-Man does not have to revert back to Sony. Like Sony right now,
no, it doesn't have
whatever they can do whatever they want with Spider-Man. Kevin Feige is the one that has to sit there and go, okay, that's it. That's all he could do.
Well, yeah, I only said like once it reverts back because to me it would just make more sense to do it once Spider-Man was theirs and theirs alone. But you're right.
Do you think that they'll do like where he's like hopping back and forth between the MCU and the Sonyverse?
I think that I think Disney and Sony have something right now that they're trying to do the first handshake deal with a single property, so that if this works out well and they continue to do this, because I think they're going to do this on a case study, and that if they get this worked out and if they don't fight within themselves, they're going to start showing Universal and these other companies, look, you guys can work together and have these properties together. I think that that's something that they might be trying to do. Now, yeah, Disney has ulterior motives. Let's be honest. Disney's Disney. It's about the almighty dollar with them. But I think that with Sony, Disney said, here, we're going to show you how to make this $1 billion property.
Yeah, but
let us stay a part of it.
I think there's a good chance that they're going to do the same thing with Morbius and kind of do it.
I was just about to say that, Sean.
We talked about this.
And it wasn't until that Morbius trailer hit that I didn't see what Sony was trying to do with Spider-Man. Like, yeah, the Venom stuff, cool, and that was kind of up in the air. Does it tie in? Well, if it doesn't, cool. We've got a couple decent movies. What's up, Chris?
Well, no, go ahead. Finish your talk.
Well, no, I was just saying. Once that Morbius trailer dropped, it was like, now I see what the hell Sony's setting up here.
But here's the thing. I think Sony's doing all this, and they're throwing out all these names, Madam Web, all these other properties that they're trying to supposedly make movies for. And they're saying, look at what we have. I think they're trying to entice Disney either to one of two things: buy it, which again,
No, I
I'm
don't.
not. You say no, but the thing is I was never off the wagon that said that they were going to be back a part of this. Everybody else was off. They were like, oh,
why would they want to entice them to buy them right now?
Because it's money in their pocket. If they get sold, then they lose Spider-Man and it goes to Disney, period. If they can sell it, money in their pocket, that's for the stockholders, the shareholders, and the shareholders are what drive this business. And that means that when they sell, they're worth more and they get more money.
Yeah,
it makes business sense.
I mean,
don't
you're
worry about what
you're not wrong, but I just don't see. I mean, I could be wrong. I just don't see that.
I don't see Disney. I don't see Disney doing it because if it is true that it reverts back to Marvel, which
it is true.
Okay, if that's true, they know it. So why would you spend money? It's best just to keep these deals going until it happens. And we all know Sony's been on the market for at least 3 years.
The rights can only revert back to Marvel if Sony doesn't make any Spider-Man content.
Well, also if
and it has to be a certain period of time,
they automatically revert back if another studio buys them out, just like with Fox.
Right, but Sony, I don't see Sony selling him right now.
I don't
know. I'm just saying it would make sense for their shareholders to sell it to Disney if they could do it, because
you sell the studio to Disney.
No.
Oh,
I'm talking about just Spider-Man, because it's money in the shareholders' pocketbooks, and it makes them more money before they're sold. Because if they don't have Spider-Man and whatever company comes and buys them, they know Spider-Man's not going to be there. It's going to be worth less to the company buying Sony.
True,
because they know they're not going to
make
Spider-Man
money doing the whole MCU stuff, so they're fine.
Yeah, I understand, but they're still on the market. They're wanting to sell. The shareholders want it gone. It makes sense for Sony to sell it. It doesn't for Disney to buy it, because Disney should know why buy it. We stay in this market where we help make the movie. We pay less money because we're not really the studio putting it out. We're just helping it, and we get a percentage of it.
How about you just wait and see what Sony throws in our face in the next few months, and then this conversation might change.
Exactly.
I'm waiting for that Morbius to drop. Once I see that, then it's like, okay, do I feel a little bit better going forward with it?
Yeah, we'll see. So what happens when Morbius comes out, and if it's a huge hit, and also we have to see what happens with Bloodshot.
Morbius was on the block already.
Yeah, Bloodshot.
Sony. When Sony came out and said, we still want to talk to Disney. Sony, why would they care to talk to Disney if they didn't see something valuable in doing so?
Oh, they absolutely, they see something valuable in, crossing the streams, as it were.
And I still think that, yes, Sony's in charge, but Sony wants that expertise on their side, because we know ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, which is part of Lucasfilm still.
Yeah,
they were working on a lot of this stuff for Sony, and I guess they're handled on an outside line because they're kind of a contractor more than anything.
Sure,
but there's a lot of Disney hands in the Sony stuff, and it makes sense for Sony to want that and to keep that. So, I mean, I just think that this whole Disney Sony thing is going to be a lot stronger than people think. Just Sony can hold on to it as long as Disney is a part of it.
Yeah, because financially they've been doing well with all of their Spider-Man films. They're all over $700 million.
Yeah, which is crazy, because how many times has that been? How many times they rehash it, and for it to still make money, man, that says something.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
I mean, it really, if anything, I guess you would look at the demographic of people who are watching these movies, but I think a lot of it has to do with the animated stuff in the early 90s. It's essentially, at least in my generation, it's ingrained in that generation.
Yep.
That Spider-Man is, that and the X-Men. Those are the two things that even if it's bad, will sell.
Right.
But I guess to get into my list, here's the thing: I haven't gone back and watched any of the old stuff, with the Spider-Man stuff. I think Chris, you were talking about the '70s Spider-Man. I don't remember much of that. I don't if at all watching any of it. So I'm gonna
like I am. I mean,
what's that?
You're not old like I am. I understand that.
You're like what? A couple years older than me?
I don't know.
I'm old like you are, and I never watched that.
You're stupid, and you're sad. I'm pathetic.
Right. So we'll stick to the Spider-Man that I know. And honestly, I really don't like. I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I know I've seen people in the chat earlier saying that that was the worst Spider-Man, but I think the best Spider-Man here is a cross between. Here we go. Okay, here, Danny.
Danny, you already know the way he's
look. Okay, like
hammering, you know what this is going to be.
For standalone, Garfield is good. I think he's probably the best of the standalone. But if you were to able to cross the Sam Raimi, I knew he kicked me. Look, I'm saying if you were to combine those two together, you would have a better Spider-Man. But I think a standalone Garfield is a little bit better than either one of those two. That's just my opinion. You okay? Do we need to call an ambulance there, Danny?
You good? You good, bro?
We might have to call an ambulance for Danny.
Yeah, but again, those were the first live. The Sam Raimi stuff was the first live action Spider-Man for me to like feast my eyes upon.
I just be messing with y'all. I respect all y'all opinions
for sure. I love it.
I really don't understand. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear it. Let's hear it.
I mean, I don't understand how nobody can say Andrew Garfield is not the best if you read the comic books. He did the most Spider-Man and Peter Man like impression or acting than the other two.
And that's why I think as Garfield as a standalone is a little bit better than either one of those two. But if you were to take the personality of those two together, I think that would make for a good Spider-Man. But yeah, you're right. It's what it comes down to. I think is that quick wit in battle. That honestly, that's part of his like weaponry, man.
Yeah.
These movies, which I just watched all of them again recently, they all go and do that.
Yeah.
They all
who does it better?
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man does that the least.
He doesn't do it that.
He talks a little bit of jump to the Green Goblin, but not much.
Yeah, dude. Like his Spider-Man movies were very depressing. That's not Spider-Man. They were so damn sad. Like
moody.
Only time he talked jump was when he had the Venom symbiote.
Andrew Garfield, the Amazing Spider-Man, and let's also talk about that. One's the Amazing Spider-Man, one's Spider-Man, and they're two different styles of Spider-Man. Because even in the cartoon world, there were two different styles with the Amazing Spider-Man and New Adventures of Spider-Man, all of that stuff. Anyways, Andrew Garfield's storyline, the storyline of his Spider-Man was much, much better than any of the others.
Okay.
I will
honestly, I would have liked to have seen Andrew Garfield as the symbiote Spider.
That would have been good.
That would have been a lot better than
given the third Spider-Man movie.
Oh yeah, I think the whole Sam Raimi Venom stuff, that was, you got to ask me, get that out of here, man. That's
Sam didn't even want to do it. He didn't want to do it at all.
I think Sandman was great. I think Sandman was a decent part
of
that movie.
The only good thing in that whole movie.
Yeah. Yep. No, I agree with you on that one, man. And then, like, who did they cast? Topher Grace for Brock?
Yo, Spider-Man was buffered in Venom. I'm like, what comic book is that?
Right.
But I mean, Danny, I will say that Andrew Garfield should have gotten a third movie. He should have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You should not even be seeing Collins now, in my opinion. Andrew Garfield still should be taken. I mean, Tom Holland. We should not even be seeing Tom Holland.
I don't know about that. Tom Holland, I think
Tom Holland could grow into it as well.
I never cared for the teenage Spider-Man.
That's the thing. They need to move past the teenage thing. They need to get him. I guess he's supposed.
Whoa! He just got there. Give him a couple of years.
Yeah.
No, I like the way they set it up. I like the way they put it together, and I think that, given more experience in life, or if we're calling him high school, giving him more experience in life, and like Terrence was saying, in a couple of years, I think you're going to see that personality develop a little bit more, and then he's going to realize that, like, oh, I can use the psychological aspect to gain advantage over my opponents. essentially distracting them. So using his spider sense and his quick wit. Or
Yeah,
his quick,
that's another thing. He didn't have spider sense until the second movie. No, until they faced Mysterio.
Right.
Yeah.
Like humans were making a big deal about when Aunt May threw the banana peel, and they're like, "How come he didn't dodge it?" I'm like,
What they call it,
spider
Peter
sense-
Tingle or some crap like that.
Right.
Peter
And I'm like, I had to explain to a bunch of humans. I'm like, his spider sense only works when he's in danger. He's not in danger from Aunt May.
Okay.
That's why it
Terrence,
didn't go off.
right? Yeah.
He got taken out of the fight by Red Mike in Civil War.
Say
You should
again.
have sensed that.
Oh yeah. In Civil War, that's different. Like that whole situation, he was
Yeah,
very much in danger. Yeah.
Well, I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
but
because
he didn't
wait,
sense a damn thing coming at him.
wait a minute.
Oh,
So,
right.
in Civil War, when they're fighting and all that, and all of that's going on, he's enamored by all of these superheroes. I don't know if he senses that he's in danger. I think he's enamored that he's there. And then
no. See, that's
He was too busy,
not
like,
how that works with the character.
video footage.
Regardless of if Spider-Man is enamored with someone, if someone is shooting projectiles at him or anything, his spider sense always goes off.
Yeah, but the way he's talking, he's just like, "Oh wow, hey, you're so and so, you're there."
I guess maybe part of it is does he see it coming? Or what factors are in play here?
I mean,
now, granted, he can be distracted. That's completely true. But in that scenario, with that many powerful and skilled individuals, his spider sense would be going haywire, and he would be, being Spider-Man. But he'd be like, "Oh crap," and trying to dodge as many things as possible.
Yeah, well, then my question is like, if he's in the middle of battle, does he have to stay focused on the battle? Does that take away from his,
I think it's second nature because if you remember in the first one, when he first got it, he did all that stuff with Flash. You can see Flash punching, and he look at the fist and look back at it, and then he.
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like I was actually. It's funny you said that because I was thinking to myself like that whole Flash part where he's like, I've just pushed some people. Like when you go to Spider-Man in the Civil War,
I'm talking about when he fought Flash, not the Flash.
Okay, no, but what I'm talking about, that whole mentality of being scared, like that to me would have been a good depiction, or at least like a scene similar to that in Spider-Man would have been good. But then again, that Tony Stark essentially teaching him not to be scared, because I feel like even after Tony Stark's death, that Spider-Man is just like he's lost, and that's not the Spider-Man that I remember. And I would say this is the downfall of this Spider-Man that I particularly think that
Danny even said that he, like the part where the Civil War part, or was it you, Terrence? No, you, Terrence. They talked about drawing it out, and so they. I mean, here's the thing: we're talking about three separate portrayals and three separate. They picked
but here's to answer the question. If he's in the situation like how Mads brought up, which is true, what would happen is he would be getting so many spider senses, if you will, at the same time, and it is up to him to choose which one he wants to focus on. But that stuff would be going off like crazy, which is why if you remember, like even back to the 90s cartoon, when he was dealing with multiple opponents, it was going crazy. But it was because of his experience, it allowed him to focus on the most dangerous thing at that moment in time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he's able to, pick between, focus on what he needs to focus on. But then it does take away from the other things. It does take away from the other things that he needs to focus on too. So, I mean, as many abilities as he has to defeat his foes, he definitely has plenty of shortcomings that would allow himself to be defeated pretty easily too, I think.
Right. But yeah, but great point, Matt. Like that was a good example, because
no, I agree. But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of my opinion on the Spider-Man that I know of.
Who's the best one? Toby?
I would say Garfield's a little bit better than the two, but if I had to choose, I would take the Raimi and the Maguire or Holland and fuse them together.
Which who you said was the worst?
Who's the worst? Probably Raimi. To be honest with you, like it's hard to unsee that. Like if you've seen the dance scene where I think the emo Spider-Man where he's like,
Then I don't like the organic webs. I don't like that.
I don't like the organic webs either. I don't like the organic webs either. It
For
took
me, it wasn't just the organic webs; it was the prickles on the fingertips, because my mind went to went through so many scenarios where that would be a horrific thing.
You saw reminds me of like Spider-Man. What's the Spider-Man 2022 or something like that? The guy has the claws.
Yeah.
Something
you're
like
talking
that.
about the future Spider-Man.
Yeah.
2092 or whatever.
Yeah, that's what that
Or
reminds me of.
2099. I can't remember which number it is. It's a number.
That's
That's it.
Always dealing, you see, here's the thing with all of these. You're always dealing with people, like the directors, especially directors and producers, are first and foremost going to be like, "Ooh, I want this," and that's where you start to have your problem. That's where the problems start. The problem with picking a best and worst actor is always going to be what were they handed to work with.
Right. Yeah. It all
Raimi
down to the script.
Yeah, Sam Raimi is a really hands-on director who likes to. He wants certain things certain ways, and when that happens, if you don't completely understand the
Not
property,
all the time though, Chris. Sometimes in life they just pick the wrong person. Like I'm just saying, like.
Well, but I just think it's really hard to know. Was it the actor? Was it the writers? Was it the directors? Was it producers?
Well, but in these instances, though, we have more than like a one-off with these people in these roles. You know, Andrew's the only one that has only been in 2 films. The rest of them have been in 3 and more. You know, Tom Holland hasn't had a trilogy, but he's been in more than 3 films as Spider-Man. So Tobey Maguire, had his trilogy, and
I think again, Tobey Maguire's biggest downfall was the 3rd one, and that was.
But what I'm saying is like all these specific things to the character, that we're talking about. Was it the director? Was it the actor? I think Tobey was pretty consistent in his portrayal throughout the 3 films. So
that's probably because of the people that were around it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, so
same people.
If it was something that I guess I'm trying to say is if it was just something that the actor did specifically, the director, if they didn't want it, they could have said, "Hey, let's."
But that's what I'm saying is that what if he was trying to do something? Let's say Tobey Maguire went back and read every damn Spider-Man comic, and I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying, what if he did do that? He's like, well, wait a minute. I think I need to be a little snarkier. I need to have a little more, I need to have a little more witty comments to these people when I'm fighting them. And Sam Raimi's like, no. That's way too involved. We don't want that.
Like, no, shut up, Toby. Do your job. Like,
exactly. We don't know.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, man. I mean, just like I said, that scene. If you take the music out of there, I know on YouTube you could find that scene where he's walking down the street with no music playing. It is the most ridiculous looking thing in the world, and that's what really turns me off. You cannot unsee that shit.
I know, I've seen that.
And I would actually agree with you guys. I would agree with you guys if I had not seen any of the Evil Dead movies. Sam Raimi is very capable of doing humor and doing it well. So,
everything but that scene.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I'm talking about, as like, Sam Raimi possibly shooting down, the suggestion of, hey, let's add some humor in here. I think Sam Raimi would.
But I think it's the wrong place to add the humor. That's my thing with it. It's like you're talking about a black suited Spider-Man. You're talking about somebody who's supposed to deal with darkness and.
I'm not talking about the Venom suit specifically. I'm just talking about like how Peter is as Spider-Man. He's supposed to be more of a snarky, sarcastic.
Oh, well, I got you. Yeah.
Once I viewed him as a joke, though, that's when it failed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But I'm splitting hairs. And I think we're all splitting hairs here because I'll be honest, the 3 of those guys all bring something really great to the role.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's probably a testament to what Sony has done. And let's be honest, yes, Disney did. Tom Holland is more Disney's Spider-Man. Even when you buy the caricatures and stuff of it, the figurines, it says Disney Spider-Man or whatever on it.
Well, it's because Disney has a merchandise.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is even though it's technically Disney, Sony had a hand in getting him there. Sony.
Hey, you can say what you want, but Spider-Man is supposed to be fun. Period.
Yeah.
I ain't supposed to be depressed while watching Spider-Man.
Other than kicking off the franchise, what did Tobey Maguire bring to the Spider-Man franchise?
Notoriety.
I
on that. No, but he brought back Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Notoriety.
Right.
He brought Spider-Man back to mainstream media that we
right.
had for years. I mean, okay, let's rephrase that. The cartoons and the animated stuff have had a pretty good staying power on and off. Not like Spider-Man, or not like Batman or Superman, but they haven't been that bad in the animated world. And there's been a lot of stuff with the animated world. But Tobey Maguire brought Spider-Man back in our faces. It was like, here he is. And with the way with Sam Raimi and the CGI and everything involved in that, Spider-Man became more than just this three-dimensional drawing. It became life. And they did breathe life into when they started. And that was Tobey Maguire. Yes, I agree. Even in the first two movies, he may not have been as emo as he was in that one, in those scenes in the third one, but he is pretty down about things. It's always, oh, look, Mary Jane's doing this. It's not like you said about him, about how Andrew Garfield, you really feel like he was in love with Gwen.
Well, because they were actually dating in real life.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, make no mistake, though. I still think that Spider-Man 1 and 2 are masterpieces when it comes to
that's what I'm saying.
But it's too depressing, though. That's all.
Well, yeah, no, I don't disagree with that.
But I think to the point, though,
in the Spider-Man movie, shouldn't Spider-Man outshine the villains? In both of them, I think the villains outshine Spider-Man.
I think it all depends on where it falls in the storyline. If you're doing a trilogy, you can make the villain shine in a second movie, and then have that third movie cap it off with.
What I'm saying, I thought the Goblin stole the scenes whenever he was in the scene. He stole the scenes, and I believe Dr. Octopus stole the scenes.
I don't know. I think it went well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I see where you're coming from, Danny, but like, I think that Spider-Man's villains in general, like most of them, are really cool.
Yeah.
So if you have a Spider-Man movie and you have a lot of his recognizable villains, if they don't make you feel that way, then they probably did the villain wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Lex, Alex Luthor, or whatever you want to call him, from Batman versus Superman. That was one. We should have been afraid of him, and we were.
Yeah,
right.
It was cringe every time you watched him. He was ADHD. Who?
Yeah. And again,
talking about Alex Luthor from Batman versus
Topher
Superman.
Grace.
I didn't catch the comparison that you said.
All right.
I see what you put in that chat, Danny.
Yeah. No, again, Topher Grace was a total Venom. I mean, at least that's the one thing that the bunch of us can all agree upon. Venom may not have taken out Spider-Man, but Topher Grace's Venom did.
Right.
Okay. We all wrapping up Spider-Man now?
We could go for hours on it, probably. But.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick. I think it was Nindroid earlier asked about Venom 2. I do believe Venom 2 is coming out this year, correct, guys?
November, I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think that was the same release month. It was either October or November that Venom came out. I think not last year, the year before.
2 years.
I'm not excited about
they
that
do
yet.
it like the week before Thanksgiving, then it'll pull in all that Thanksgiving, people going home.
Yep.
I can't wait to see the trailers, man. I hope.
Yeah, I need to see a trailer to get excited.
Yes,
me too. I hope they put some more money into the CGI.
They got the best villain they could have because Woody Harrelson, he could pull.
Ooh, if they mess up Carnage, Danny,
I'm done.
If they give Carnage the Venom treatment that I saw in that first movie where it wasn't Venom, I'm like, oh no, I'm done. I'm done.
Yep.
I think they learned their lesson, and they got what's Andy Serkis. He's like the master of that
CGI,
motion capture. Yeah.
So I think they're gonna nail this one.
I hope so.
And who doesn't want to see Venom and Carnage on screen together, dude? Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Are you
Carnage
freaking
needs
kidding
to
me?
scare people. He needs to scare people. Like I'm
He
not
does.
playing about that.
No. And let me ask you this, Terrence, real quick, since we're talking about it. What did you think of Cletus's hair when he's in that cell in that end scene in Venom?
okay, like when I saw that, I'm not gonna lie, like I jumped up and I like damn near did a backflip. I was like, is it Scarlet? Is it Cletus?
Same
Like,
here, bro.
right. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, well, it doesn't. His hair doesn't look good, but I knew what they were going for because I took it as like they kind of just threw it in there last minute. Like I don't think it was planned. But I think when we see him in Venom 2, his hair will look more, believable and stuff like that.
Okay.
They'll find a way to make it look less cheesy.
Listen, it's not the first time that they have thrown little money towards something that deserved more money. But when it did what it did with the little amount of money, Sony's going to be smart. They're going to throw money at this next one and say, okay, we see what you did this time.
I agree.
What are you going to do now? Here you go. You got
to be
fair,
though, I had a bigger reaction from that than the whole movie of Venom when I saw Cletus. That was my biggest reaction the whole time.
Yeah.
Venom
I like the movie.
Just like the Joker was.
Oh,
just like Mandalorian was. They didn't expect for those shows to do as well as they did.
I expected them to bomb hard.
That's always good when it does that, because that means that it was that the movie itself, at its heart, at its core, was a good movie, and that the stuff that you just sprinkle on for sugar and spice and things that are cool, that all wasn't necessary. But now we can do it. Now we're going to throw you more money. We really want to see how much of that story you can give us, and how cool now can you make it look. And that's what we're going to get with Venom 2. And I hope they're doing that with Morbius, because I saw some of the stuff on the Morbius trailer that I was like, Sean and I were like that. The echolocation thing, man, that looked cool. And if you've seen the Bloodshot trailer, some of that stuff's like, wow. I mean, I am really. I
don't think Bloodshot gonna be good, man.
I don't know.
Hey, they did my boy JDF wrong, man. I don't know if I can go see that shit.
I think at the very least it'll be entertaining. Bloodshot.
I agree. I think the trailer was a good.
You got the wrong actor, Vin Diesel. He needs to go back. And
Vin Diesel is not necessarily.
Hey, Vin Diesel, my boy, man.
Yeah,
I like Vin Diesel, but I'm saying his bread and butter to me is the Riddick.
It is, but I think that's what makes him good for that part.
Aren't they working on a Riddick movie?
Yes, they're working on it right now, actually.
Yeah,
I'm ready to see it.
He owns the rights to that.
So good, so good. Riddick shit.
Riddick is the man, buddy.
He came on board of that, and I think originally just wanted to do the trilogy, but he has the rights to Riddick, so he is Riddick. Period. So anytime you see that, you're getting him, and that's one good thing.
Are you sure he actually owns the rights?
I'm pretty sure, because I've heard of it. I'll look it up.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna shave my head and wear my Riddick goggles as soon as that shit comes.
That's what's up, dude.
You get some contacts that look like those eyes.
Yep. Hell yeah. All your videos like that.
I will totally give Vin Diesel props for the fact that he has voiced Groot without any voice modification.
Right.
Yeah, no, he's something else, dude. You don't realize how good of an actor that dude is.
Man, I brought that up.
I forgot. Okay,
I can't believe Mans brought that up.
What?
Groot.
Oh,
the Guardians of the Galaxy.
All right. So why Vin Diesel owns the rights to Riddick? Diesel was willing, but it would cost Universal a debt that would not involve money. He agreed to make a cameo in the third installment titled Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift if Universal would sign over the rights to Riddick character to him and his production company.
Wow.
That's how he did it. And I remembered it cost him a ton of money. And that's why he's Riddick, because it's his. He will do what he wants with that, and that's why it's so good.
Well, he needs to start making some more before he get too old.
Yeah, he does.
You don't look too old. Did you see how you look in Bloodshot?
Yeah, no, I think
he looks good, man.
Dude, I think Bloodshot. I'm not going to say it's going to knock it out of the park, but I think it's going to be like a Venom. I think I don't know how much money they put towards it. I think it's going to be right on that cusp of it's good.
Yeah,
and make the money. They're thinking about a second one.
I'm with Danny, man. I'm with Danny.
You don't think it's gonna be good?
I'm not saying it won't be good, man. But dude, look,
I think they're gonna be the one. Okay, what month it come out in?
Doesn't it come out in the fall? I thought it came out in. I want to say
it's like because if it comes out in January,
March 13th of this year. That is a
crap
weekend. My birthday weekend it's St. Patrick's Day weekend. May 15th is another big weekend. And then July 4th. But March 13th, the weekend of that, March 15th, that's a big movie week.
What did you say, man?
What's your birthday?
I couldn't hear you.
My birthday is March 15th.
17th, baby.
Guys,
What's up?
it's not going to matter when it comes out. Putting him in a movie is just the same as putting Jason Momoa in a movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Too.
whoa, we're not talking shit about
he's
Jason
gorgeous.
Momoa, are we?
He's gorgeous. He's muscular, and he's got a deep voice.
And he's bald. Some women like that.
I don't know about
What's wrong with Jason?
many-
We're not talking
many-
shit about Jason Momoa.
It's not going to matter what he's doing. You could turn around and say, "Hey, I'm going to be going to the movies and putting this movie is going to be watching paint dry for 4 hours, but it's being done by Jason Momoa or Vin Diesel."
This
You're gonna
conversation-
have
Yeah, but they're both good actors. That's the thing. They're both great actors.
Yeah, I think so.
Can't
They're both great actors, and
We'll
they're
talk
both
about. Hey,
like-
we'll do.
You see they're great. You see they're great actors.
I think they're both pretty good actors.
I
Yeah.
think they're fun
Let me
actors.
tell you that. Let me tell you that. I'm not talking nothing about them because they're in a better level than I am. But
they're both good. They're both good actors, but they're also eye and ear candy.
the six of us got a better chance of winning an Oscar or any kind of award than them two.
I don't know about that, man. Have you seen some of Jason Momoa's other stuff like
Man.
Frontier and shit?
I'll
Yeah,
put a little friendly wedge on it.
You gotta watch that Frontier. That shit's good,
You
man.
can never steal for Oscar.
Anyway,
Batman.
Okay, Batman. Who went first? Terrence, it's your turn, brother. Who is your worst Batman and who is the best
Live action.
Okay,
live action
my
TV?
the worst Batman I have ever seen in my life, and this is like stretching all the way back to like the late 50s, is by far, in my opinion, George Clooney. Like he is the worst Batman Bruce Wayne because, I mean, he even admitted himself. But regardless of his opinion, my opinion is that this dude, when they said action, it was like George Clooney walking around in his house. There was no acting involved. It was like he didn't even take it seriously. He was just like, Batman and Robin, I'm George Clooney. Of course he's gonna make money. I'm like, that's why it failed, George, because you weren't taking it seriously. It was like there's supposed to be a difference between Bruce Wayne and Batman, and they were literally the same shit. There was no charisma, there was no intensity, there was no nothing. He was just the flattest, driest actor I've ever seen as Batman. He brought nothing to it. Like if he were to show up in like a dark alley, I'm taking out the trash, and he were to show up like I'm Batman, I would just beat the shit out of him on the spot. Like, no, you're not. Like, no.
I want to see that fight.
oh, he would do it. No, real. This is a good point. I guess I never really noticed that.
Talk
But
about his credit card. What was that? Don't leave home without it.
Oh man, don't leave home without it. I'm like, Batman, if you say any other lines in this movie, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna become a villain. Talk again, George. Like,
Terrence,
now we know his origin story.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's funny.
You made me.
What drove you to a life of crime? It was George Clooney's Batman.
And then then in the beginning he looked at Robin like, that's why Superman works alone. I'm like, you know what, George? I'm gonna let that slide. We still got an hour and 40 minutes. You can possibly still. Nope, he didn't recover.
It's funny because when you mention that, it's like I never realized that, but he is a very dry piece of toast.
Yes.
When it comes to the Bruce Wayne and Batman, which I'm anxious to see when it comes to Batman is Robert Pattinson, because I think he's going to make an excellent Bruce Wayne. I think he's going to play the pretty boy, rich guy perfectly. Can he be Batman though?
Yeah, how does he look in the suit? That's what I'm waiting on to see.
I am too. I'm waiting. I gotta see.
Comic book characters are very hard to pull off. Like I don't care how good of an actor or actress you are, you have to fit that comic book character.
Yeah.
I mean, look at like Jared Leto. He didn't really work as the Joker, but you see him in Morbius. I'm like, now he's Morbius. That's Morbius, right?
That's his.
Before when they told everybody he was casted, I was like, way better than a Joker. That's the role I want to see Leto.
Yeah. Those eyes, the way he looks, just perfect.
It wasn't even. It was barely the Joker in Suicide Squad. He was more Tekashi 6ix9ine.
There was one moment. That I was like, okay, I'm okay with this moment, and it was when he's like in the copter with the gun, and he's like, yeah, like it was like the one moment where I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
I agree with that.
And then I noticed when he was doing the fight scenes, like I'm like, yo, did you get trained at all for any hand-to-hand combat?
Nice, Jared Leto. He doesn't need to be trained.
No, I'm talking about George Clooney as Batman.
Oh.
I'm like, because I'm like, what kind of roundhouse is that, George? I'm like, man, no, this is not Batman. This is all wrong.
That movie was a plane that took a nosedive into the earth without even taking off.
Right, and then
it dug into the ground.
I don't care what y'all say. I like Mr. Freeze, man.
That movie was the core.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze was like
Mr. Freeze was dope, man. Freeze and Riddler, I think were great.
Yeah, I
Mr.
agree.
Freeze pissed me off because I was like, look, I'm coming at this from like I've been a fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger since I was like 5. And like when I saw him in that movie, it was like
it was pretty
this
sad.
dude is wearing polar bear slippers instead of actually having polar bears. It was like every time I saw him, I wanted to break the television. Like, no. but there was one scene where George Clooney went to punch Bane. And like I took martial arts for years, and even like I've seen white belts throw better punches. I was like, maybe I saw it at the wrong angle. Let me switch seating positions.
He's like, if you gotta change the angle to watch a movie, bro, you know that shit's messed up.
I was like, I'm like, that was the most telegraphed punch. Like Bane had enough time to take a nap, get something to eat, and then wait for the punch. Like that's how bad it was.
He's like, I enjoy this movie better watching it from behind the screen.
Oh man,
Gotta watch it upside down.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Bane. Oh, that pissed me off. Honestly, I hated Bane. I didn't.
Intelligent.
You guys are gonna hate me for this too, but I didn't even like him in the the newer Batman stuff.
What?
I did not, man. I did not.
That Bane and the Bane on Gotham were the best 2 Banes live action ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yo, the Bane. Okay, in The Dark Knight Rises, when Bane fought Batman and there was no music playing, it felt real. Like it seemed like something you go outside.
I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that.
And then he broke Batman's mask on his face. That was some of the most savage stuff I've ever seen. And then he snapped it back.
That's
like,
true.
That to me, like embodied Bane. He's supposed to be terrifying. He's supposed to be intelligent. Now, granted,
the voice. I hated that.
They've gone back
because of how beast he was, though. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
In the original,
Bane, right.
When I first heard it in the theater, it just you couldn't understand it very well. When they released it finally into Blu-ray, they went through and cleaned it up a lot.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, you can understand him a lot better.
I was able to understand him fine, actually.
Me too.
I understood him, but it was very, it was like
that was there was more of an issue with Christian Bale's Batman voice than there was with Bane. They
right. That's right. But like
the first one, but not as he progressed on. I can hear him clearly.
Right. But to be fair though, like when you hear a person's voice, I think it will work or not work based upon what the character is doing.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I didn't have an absolute problem. I loved Bane in Dark Knight Rises.
And then it was like the breathing, like when you first see him on the plane with the FBI, and then he was just talking to them. I was like, oh shit, he's about to kill everybody on this plane. Like that was my first thought.
I just like the depiction of Bane throughout the comics and the animated stuff. I guess that's just what I'm used to. He's getting the Spanish accent and
all the one-liners too. Come on, the darkness is your ally. Like come on, like he had like lines for days. Come on,
all right, I'm gonna go back and rewatch that shit.
All right, so and then the best one to me.
Come on, Terrence.
Definitely Ben Affleck. See, now, granted, like I'm gonna say this before I go into that. Like I like all the other actors except for George Clooney. George Clooney is the only one that I don't like. Back to Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is the only actor that I've seen treat Bruce Wayne and Batman completely different. When he's Bruce Wayne, that is the mask, and Batman is who he really is. Like Bruce Wayne died in the alley when his parents got killed. That's when he died.
Spoilers.
Bruce Wayne, right? Who the hell doesn't know? Like,
you're watching this, you don't know.
I am terribly sorry if you don't know Batman's origins. Like, I don't know what to do. Like,
sorry, I had to.
Somebody has done that person wrong.
Right. But when I saw, like at the beginning of Batman v Superman, when you saw that the buildings were collapsing and Zod and Superman were going through like trillions of buildings, the way he was acting, like he went from Bruce to like Batman mode, even though he wasn't wearing the outfit. And I'm like, that is what I'm talking about. And when he was holding that child, when the child almost got crushed,
Yep.
I was like, yo, the way he was looking up at Superman, I was scared for my boy. Like, I was like, Superman is gonna die.
When he ran into that smoky, that like the destruction stuff is Bruce Wayne, I was like, that's exactly what Bruce Wayne would do.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, he turned it off, and then the rest of the film, when you see him at the parties, that facade was so good. I'm like, Ben, you're nailing it. And then when he put on the Batman suit, or when he was alone, he turned it on, and I'm like, I like that you're able to capture that so well. And it's a conversation that I've had with many individuals that claim to be Batman fans, and I'm like, Batman's my favorite superhero, so I will break every single detail down as to why he needs to be a certain way all the time. I mean, it's just it. So to
But
me,
Terrence, remember, Batman doesn't kill people.
oh, okay, yeah. I know there are some humans that say that, but if you go back to his earlier comics, this dude was killing people left and right.
I know.
Even in his first comic book, dude, he killed 2 people.
I mean, you can't say,
bring this up because Sean and I have been in arguments with people who say, "Oh, he doesn't. That's a horrible version because he kills people." It's like, excuse me, do you know anything about this character?
Right.
Well, I mean, hell, you even look at was it Earth 2, the Thomas Wayne Batman, like.
Yeah,
it's obvious the ability to kill is in the blood, man. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that one was meant to be more savage, like because Bruce Wayne, it's like he has a code that he did establish, like the no killing thing. But before that, it was a situation to where, okay, if he's trying to save some people and you pull out a grenade launcher, you're getting your neck snapped. You don't get to fire that grenade launcher. That's how he looked at it. But nowadays, more later years, the guy has a grenade launcher. First, he will save the people. The guy will shoot the grenade launcher and think that he killed Batman and all those other individuals, only to see that there's nothing after the smoke fades. And then Batman just breaks his arms and both his legs, and he's in the hospital. That's how Batman does.
He's like, I might not kill you, but I'm going to make sure that you understand
you're going to remember that if you even think about doing crime, your arm is going to break. Think about it.
He's like, I'll break it in the same place twice, buddy. Don't ever steal again.
He's going to remember exactly where he broke it.
Hell yeah.
And then also that warehouse sequence.
Oh, yeah.
That the way that he was fighting those criminals and he punched that dude's head in the ground and the other dude went through the wall. I'm like,
that was like Batman at his finest.
Right. That was not only was that the Arkham games, like where you would punch a person, you hear the
Yep.
I'm like, that's that force that sends chills throughout your whole body. So I got that, and it was very comic book accurate, because when I would read Batman in the comic books, when he would hit people, it looked like it hurt. It looked like he delivered like a type of power that you would associate with a Kryptonian, but this dude's supposed to be human. So I was like, man, Batman, I feel like if I see you, I'll just kill myself. Like,
he's like, don't worry, I got this for you, bro. I'll take care of it for you. And then jump off the building and shit.
I ain't gonna do that if it's George Clooney, but if it's the legit Batman, then that that's.
He's like, I'll slap the shit out of George Clooney,
right?
But I get Ben Affleck over here. I gotta go.
Like, oh shit! Yep, nope, snap my own neck.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Well, there it is.
All right, man, it's your turn.
Okay, I admit I have been dreading admitting what my worst is, so I'm going to start with the best.
Okay.
I'm with you guys so far. For me, Ben, he's been the best combination of Batman and Bruce Wayne, and for me, he does edge out over. I can see you cringing. Stop it. I can see he edges out over Michael Keaton just slightly, because he is crushworthy as Bruce Wayne. And that's, for me, that's sort of the critical factor.
You say he's what?
Crushworthy.
Like
Bruce Wayne is a playboy, and I always struggled with that with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I think Michael Keaton played Bruce Wayne well. I just think maybe
he did.
I think he came across maybe more like a frat boy because he was more aloof and more of a.
He loves you when he got that poker. Like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Right. But no, Mads, I got you,
Bruce
man.
Wayne don't do that. He lost you with that.
Yeah. Like I said, I like Michael Keaton is definitely one of my favorites, like my second favorite. But yeah, Ben Affleck has that playboy aspect that Keaton didn't have, and that's a very important part to the age of point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
On with the worst, lads. You can do it. You're gonna link up. Kevin
Conroy from Crisis on Infinite Earths.
What?
Interesting.
Which one?
Which one you say?
Kevin Conroy, Crisis on Infinite Earths. He is. You rate it for overall Batman. He's my favorite for the voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
He is Batman.
He's the epitome when it comes to the
But
voice.
when they put him on screen, gave him that horrible storyline, that wasn't Batman.
No,
Yes, I must say that is a brilliant choice. I did not even see that coming.
me neither. Never thought of it.
Right. But to be fair to Mr. Conroy, we do have to admit that that's not the main Batman. That was like from a completely different Earth.
Exactly.
Exactly. That was not Batman.
Hey, we said Batman, not a specific universe, not a specific Earth.
Yeah, I know. I just had to throw that in there in case Kevin Conroy is listening. We're sorry.
You know, and again, I will reiterate. You ask me who my favorite, overall. It will always be Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill against each other.
Absolutely.
Those are epic. Their voices are iconic for each character. But what they had to have them do in that Crisis on
And who did you say?
was graphic.
Kevin Conroy.
Conroy and who?
Cameron and Mark Hamill, but going against each other.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They're the definitive of Joker and of Batman, overall.
Yeah.
I like the Joker that played on the Batman. I thought he was good too.
It was good.
Oh
but,
yeah, he was good. Yeah.
For me, it's that Hamill Joker laugh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing beats it.
Pew pew pew.
Cameron Monaghan's laugh was pretty good on Gotham.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was fresh back when that was coming out, when they had the Jerome stuff and they were doing all that.
Right.
That was fresh to me, man. Like, it kept you wondering, is this Joker? Is this not Joker? What the hell is going on here?
Technically, he did play 3 different Jokers, even though they didn't call him the Joker. So we got to give him props for playing 3 different.
Well, yeah, and in the one where they stapled his face, that was essentially a take from one of the comic books, right? When they stapled, yeah. I mean, you're right.
In the comic books, he had it like upside down, but for the sake of the show, you want the actor's face.
Right.
Yeah.
On Gotham, I think the Riddler was the best Riddler I've seen.
Oh yeah.
I agree. I don't think people give Gotham enough credit. I think that show was great
awesome because they had all of those villains, and it's just like
the last show, the last shot is what killed Gotham.
Yeah,
that man was totally crap.
The only villain on Gotham that I thought was trash was Fish Mooney. Everybody else was good.
Yeah,
I disagree. Like Fish Mooney was on point, man. When she
came back.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I'll give you that. When she came back, it was better. But to me, the way she had other Gotham villains scared of her, you got to be on your shit to do that. Because I'm like, how you get Penguin to shrivel on the
just a
corner
trash
like
character overall to me, man.
Well, you see what I like.
I don't like what they did Solomon Grundy. I didn't care for that much.
But you know what I liked about Gotham is it explains how these characters are always gone but come back. Because if you watch any of the other stuff, that Joker goes away but he comes back. It kind of explains all of that and helps people understand this is why they never go away.
Yeah,
it was very cinematic in scope too.
Yeah,
the sickest person on there was that Hugo Strange, man. He always had his hand in something.
Oh yeah.
I thought he was great. They casted that role brilliantly.
Honestly,
and the Mad Hatter, he was good too. He's one of my favorites.
Mad Hatter was great. I didn't care for like the Alice character in there.
The Scarecrow wasn't good though. That's the only one I didn't like.
And I will take that Alice character over the Alice character in Gotham like all day, every day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, you talking about in Batwoman? Because
Batwoman,
yeah.
Oh, that's no, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Alice character in Batwoman was trash.
For me, from Gotham, my favorite villain, and bear in mind, Riddler is always going to be my favorite overall Batman villain.
He just had the best like growth, I think, as a character.
He was a great Riddler, but for me, out of all of them on Gotham, it was Victor Zsasz.
Zsasz was dope.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you know what's funny about that, Mads? Like they upgraded his character from the comics. That's like one of the rare improvements.
I admit, I go back a lot and watch a lot of the clipped over, people take clips from the show and put them to music of just Victor Zsasz. I watch those a lot, like Smooth Criminal with Victor Zsasz.
Nice.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. That's a good question right there.
Yes, David Quinta. He was better than Jim Carrey Riddler.
Okay, but
Don't get me wrong.
Jim Carrey's Riddler was like Frank Gerson's Riddler from the Batman from the 1960s. Like they were almost identical. So like if you actually look at it that way, he was kind of paying a tribute to the old school Riddler.
Yeah,
I like
really
Jim Carrey as it. I think I did not like Tommy Lee as Two-Face.
Yeah,
I like
Two-Face was in the wrong movie. That Two-Face should have been in the one with Adam West. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. I think the
Two-Face that was in the Dark Knight Rises. I mean, the Dark Knight.
No, that was a good one. I think we're talking
No,
about
that was a good one. No, the one in
90s
Batman
one,
Forever.
Yeah, and if you really think about it, the Two-Face character and the Riddle character were in that movie were very, very similar with their antics, almost Joker-esque.
And that was my problem with that Two-Face.
I would have loved to see Jim Carrey play the Joker.
Oh yeah.
I think that would have been. I think it would have been good, but it would have been more funny than terrifying.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think the Riddler played it right. I think he was right for the Riddler because it wasn't necessarily terrifying, but it was that mix up. He
was problematic. The Riddler is not supposed to be terrifying. He's just supposed to be
exactly.
This guy is a problem.
He's a pest.
Jim Carrey was a problem. He's a pest. Like Batman gets annoyed by him on a regular basis, which is why he tends to punch him more.
Yeah.
What I liked about Gotham's Riddler versus the Jim Carrey, and yet I'm with you guys. I love Jim Carrey. He did a really great, especially tribute to the one we grew up with, the Frank Gershon version. But the difference between the Gotham one and Jim Carrey's is that little bit darker, almost a touch of Jigsaw to the character.
Right.
He suffered from schizophrenia.
Well, what I loved is that they brought it when they first started with that character on Gotham. They started with him being a part and right in the middle of everything without anybody knowing.
Yeah,
he was there, and it was he was doing this stuff, and nobody knew.
Right.
And I loved that. And as it progressed, it just got better and better and better. And that's something I think Gotham did really well. They kind of showed those origins that we don't get. Now, again, with the Joker, the origin of Joker has never been written for sure. I mean, they've done very well to just say, the character, what is it? I forget which one it is. It says, I believe it's like a multiple choice question. I just pick which one it is today.
That's why 3 different Jokers on Gotham was appropriate for that.
Yeah, exactly. So, but no, that whole show did very well to show where
what it did really reminds me of Dexter a little bit. How he hid.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind of what I was saying a little bit back in the day. Like nobody got it, but I was like, go watch Dexter, and then immediately after watch Gotham, and then see if you don't get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the thing when they were doing the one with Christian Bale, that version. I wanted to see with how dark they took the characters, and that's why I was really happy with the Gotham version.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Very good point.
All right, Mr. Knight, you're next up to bat, sir.
No, here we go.
Why does everybody worry about what I'm going to say?
Love you, Chris.
Too much.
Believe it or not, me and Chris usually be almost on the same frequency, and that kind of scares me sometimes.
I know you should be.
Should.
I just want to start this out. Adam West is the epitome of Batman. It's not he's not one of my choices. Adam West and Kevin Conroy. You just can't go wrong with the fact that those two are synonymous with the name Batman. If you say to somebody, I mean, even kids today still know who Adam West is because of Batman. Now they may know him because of Family Guy and other things too.
Yeah,
but they still know Batman because of Adam West, and that's great. But I will start with my worst. It is George Clooney, without a doubt. You're gonna say, I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say it's Val Kilmer. And I don't agree with that.
Wow.
I think Val Kilmer didn't have the best. I don't know. He just wasn't the worst. It's just the way that freaking Clooney does it. It just there's something. I can't go back and watch that movie because of that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger saves that movie for me. I'll watch it every time.
That's fine, but there's not enough Arnold Schwarzenegger to say.
I think Poison Ivy was the best thing in that movie.
she was good. She was good.
Scratch Poison Ivy.
I'm not watching Batman forever, ever again.
I'd watch that all day over Batman or Robin.
I'll
Man.
tell you what, if Val Kilmer's Batman showed up, I'd be like, okay, that's a problem. But more so than George Clooney, I'll tell you that.
I liked the way that Val Kilmer did Batman. I think he was a little stiff as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But the cardboard box that George Clooney was in his movie with no personality. Hey, you want to talk about no personality with Brie Larson? That was George Clooney in that movie. No personality, no shape. Just they shoved him in a tux and they shoved him in the bat suit, and that's it.
Who made the George Clooney? Which was it? Joel Schumacher?
Yeah, Joel Schumacher did both forever, and
he did both.
It just got worse. It just got worse.
I blame him because I can clearly remember him saying in an interview, you see George Clooney with the mask on? Oh my Lord, it's gonna be heaven. He said something to that effect. And George Clooney did only what that director told him.
No, I don't agree.
During that time, he was hot.
Yeah.
Well, I did like the silver and stuff. Like, remember when they had the silver stuff on there? I thought that looked kind of cool.
I'm sorry. There's two words that I have for you that make his Batman crank. Bat nipples.
Yep.
Yeah. That shit was
No.
I didn't care for Batgirl at all either.
Well,
I like looking at Batgirl, but that was
I
about
was
it.
gonna say, I'm a Lucia Silverstone fan. I liked watching.
Well, I mean,
her
Poison Ivy and Batgirl.
Her acting was awful, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, but I just was like, hey, if you don't talk and you just flip through the window, it's all good.
So, we were talking about Gotham. Ben McKenzie plays Jim Gordon. He also voiced Batman in Year One. So that's kind of one of those nifty little things. Okay, so my introduction to Batman, like really being introduced to Batman, was Michael Keaton. I love Michael Keaton as Batman, and I love him as Bruce Wayne. But I won't separate that from Ben Affleck's, because Ben Affleck's is the most badass and probably the most accurate to Batman and to Bruce Wayne. But I'll make it a tie because I can't really separate Keaton from it either, because I just, there was something about it when he was in there. I just can't separate that. But Ben Affleck, man, I think Terrence said it best, man. He terrifies the hell out of you.
Yeah.
There's just, you can shoot yourself all you want. I'm not going to pick between the two. I will say this, though. I think the most realistic was Christian Bale, just because they didn't really go anywhere comic booky with that.
I mean, it's literally the most realistic.
Yeah,
that's what Christian
and I
Bale
loved that. I loved that. But the tie is Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton. I'm not going to pick between those two. Not going to. I'm going to give them both their
Man,
props.
Ben would snap Michael Keaton in half, man.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
No doubt about it.
Hell yeah.
But
Like
I'm
Michael
telling you,
Keaton would try to punch him, and his wrist would break on his pec muscles alone. Like there's no way.
I'm telling you though, Michael Keaton, nobody when he was given that role, nobody thought he was going to be able to do that. And
the same thing was said about Ben.
It was.
Yeah, but
even worse for Ben. Yeah.
No, it was worse for Keaton.
I feel like the people that hate Ben Affleck's Batman like decided that they hated him when they announced it because of that whole thing. Oh, I don't think Ben Affleck's going to do a good thing.
For Ben, like it was bad for Keaton, but with Ben, it was literal hatred.
Because he's going to tear.
That's because
the difference was that Keaton came in and his whole thing was, they cast a comedian to be Batman. You know, Keaton or Batman can't be Mr. Mom.
They can't. He can't because he's Beetlejuice. I remember.
They thought we were going to get Adam West again. They thought they were going campy.
Okay, but there's a difference between someone doubting you and someone hating you. Like
here's the thing. I will and ask Sean this. I still to this day still say they got to hold on to Ben Affleck. They got to find a way to get Ben Affleck back somehow, some way. And I know chances of that are slim to none. But I am a proponent to keep Ben Affleck as Batman.
You could do like a Batman Beyond type situation where he hands down the mantle. Yeah.
That would be perfect. After everything Ben has been through, and give the edge.
I think I'd like to see him do. I don't know if you guys ever watched was it Future's End or read Future's End. It's like a comic run where essentially Brother Eye has taken over everything and has killed all these superheroes, taken over their abilities, and I think the only two left are the Batman Beyond and Terry, and then Bruce Wayne. And then he hands the time device to Terry, or no, not Terry. Who was it? I can't remember exactly who went back in time or went into the future or the past to stop Brother Eye from actually starting, but then ended up like 5 years into it. So then he had to essentially stop Brother Eye and all this shit. And then I think Terry dies. One of the other, who was it? One of the Robins eventually takes over the Batman Beyond mantle. That'd be cool to see something like that. But yeah, man, just a little throw that in there.
I want Ben Affleck to be given a better chance at it. I don't think it's his fault that it went the way it did.
When you say given a better chance, to be fair, the only positive thing that I heard out of Batman v Superman was you have to see it for Ben Affleck's Batman. That's the only thing.
And Gal Gadot.
But right. But I mean, the hashtag Batflex started almost immediately.
Yeah, I even remember when that news came out. I was a little like, "Ooh, I don't know about that, Ben Affleck." And then I saw the movie, and then somebody mentioned earlier that fight scene where he's in the warehouse going through the levels of the. Yep. Oh, I mean, you see that, and you're just like, "That's Batman,
dude." And what Terrence Terrence said also, man, you see that guy coming for you? You're gonna be like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, you're like,
when he's driving the Batmobile through that warehouse area and he plows through things and things blow up and people die, he doesn't flinch. He doesn't care. He's going to do something. He's coming to do something, and he doesn't care what.
And in that movie, and I think that's what separates Superman and Batman is at least. If you're referring to like some of the comic book characters too, or the way the comics were written, at least New 52 stuff, Superman was kind of a wiener, and he was, and this is why I say that, because he was so worried about killing people. He was so, oh my gosh, I killed 1,000 people but saved millions. My life is so terrible. I'm such a terrible person. I'm gonna have to go hide out in a farm somewhere, and forget I even exist.
That's a quality that's been with Superman for forever.
I mean, right.
Always concerned about life.
And that's what I'm saying. I think with the Ben Affleck Batman and the way Superman has been written over the years, I think that's where the two come. Like this Ben Affleck Batman, like you said, he's not afraid to put the pain out, to put the hurt on, to make a point.
Yeah.
And he's gonna do what it takes to get the job done. Yeah, he has to deal with it. He, in his mind, he's like, well, if somebody's got to do it, at least it's going to be me, so nobody else has to live with that.
That's exactly why he whooped Superman's ass.
And
that's not that Superman can't beat him. It's just he be hesitating too much.
Right. And Superman, he worries too much, especially after all the stuff that had happened, with Zod and all that. He's dealing with that inner struggle, and Batman, with his super brain, knows this and takes advantage of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, Superman was still very, very green because those events in BVS happened immediately after Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, not only did he hesitate, he was still very unfamiliar with his power set.
Right.
Yeah, the whole thing all the way up until Justice League was a learning experience. You know, he had to process some heavy shit right away. I mean,
Yeah.
you barely learn how to fly, and then Zod's like, "How you doing?" And you get death in your face. Like,
That's why I liked Man of Steel, man. I just anyway, we're gonna go.
Who's next?
Sean is.
Yeah. All right. So the absolute worst Batman would have to be it's not Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer is probably my third favorite Batman. My least favorite would be George Clooney.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because George Clooney, if you see him in almost anything else, he's a really, really good actor.
yep.
So the fact that he didn't make a good Batman just has always puzzled me. And it has to be because he was just doing whatever Schumacher said at the time. And Schumacher did not know anything about Batman.
I just think he wasn't right for Batman. Let's just be honest.
I agree with that too. I mean, he didn't even know to disguise his voice at all.
But that's part of my problem. George Clooney is just like Will Smith.
Yeah.
He's the same character in every damn movie.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
You're a genius.
And George, I mean, there's just so much that you could just tear him apart little by little, on little nuances here and there that he did or didn't do that, Batman either did or did not do. But overall, I mean, the movie was just trash. I mean, if you absolutely have to introduce Robin into a Batman movie, I think Forever was probably a decent way to go, even though there were aspects of Forever that I don't like.
Yeah.
But at least Robin had that badass costume in Batman Forever. Like when he walked down that staircase, I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a good sidekick right there.
Yeah.
He meant business.
I won't lie. I really enjoyed him doing his own laundry. That was a nice one.
Right. Thank you, Mads. Like, oh, Mads, we on the same wavelength. I was just about to mention when he was doing the laundry, when he started flipping off the staircase.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, like.
Yeah, that was a pretty good scene. But and then, oh, hey, what's up, Robert? What's going on? Then my favorite Batman. This is really tough for me because much like Chris, I mean, I associate so much with Keaton and Batman, just because Keaton is the first one who actually took the character to a comic book level of darkness in live action. And I was at the age where that really affected me. It was the first time I had ever seen like anything like that. So Keaton, I think, yeah, I mean, all the faults that people have said about Keaton, I can see that. He played more as a playboy, stuff and etc. And also, if you would put Keaton's Batman against Ben Affleck's Batman, or Affleck would rip him apart, in a second. So Keaton is up there too, but I mean, the number one Batman would have to be Ben Affleck. And I go back and forth on this all the time because Keaton and Affleck are pretty much equal to me. But I mean,
we just go equal. It's okay. I did it.
Well, but the thing is though, when you see the movies, I mean, and they are pretty much equal. But when you see the movies and you see Keaton do his Batman, and then you see Affleck do his Batmaning, it's like, well, when you see Affleck, okay, well, that's Batman. That's what Batman is.
I will say this: if you want to go by accuracy, Affleck's my favorite.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to kill somebody if he has to.
Also, I mean, the things that he was doing, well, the Batman character was doing in BVS and in Justice League, where he was like using the grappling hook, and he was like, that was like right out of the animated series, I mean,
right.
There was so much stuff in BVS that was just, it came out of the comic books, it came out of the Arkham games, and it came out of the Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
John, what about that scene when he was in the top corner and the cops shined the light at him and he dashed away like he was a speedster? I'm like, that's Batman too.
Yep. He's there for like 1 second.
Really close
What
to
y'all think
movie,
about that?
actually making it good.
He had that branding iron though. That ain't Batman. I ain't never seen that before.
Oh, where he branded the criminals. Yeah, I've never seen that either. But I mean, that's like
No, that was something to add intensity. Is all that was. It was to symbolize that the character Bruce Wayne / Batman has gone to an even darker place than normal because Jason Todd Robin got killed. That's what that was.
Yeah, because we have to remember that when we see Ben Affleck's Batman, he had been active. He had been, I think, inactive for about 10 years at that point. But he was Batman
a long time.
He was Batman for like well over 20 years. So this was Batman. Like
I like to think that Michael Keaton is what Batman first was, and that
that he became what Affleck was. Yeah, I could see that.
That's kind of what I like to think. The way that it progressed.
Yeah, I could totally
see Michael Keaton in a role where he lost Robin and him flipping out and being, I'm never letting this happen again. I don't care what I have to do. I don't care how much work it takes me to do it. I can see Keaton's doing that. But then
again, Keaton would be smart enough to not have a Robin to begin with.
But imagine though how the criminals felt though. Like imagine one's bragging like, "Yeah, we're gonna kill Batman," especially after we took out Robin. You took out who? Robin's dead. All right. Yeah, I'm going home. Where are you going? Nope. Time to leave.
Bye. You did what? Wait.
No, I'm leaving because there's too much hell that's going to come down on you right now.
You gotta be like that smart goon in Batman Mystery of the Batwoman when Batman was going through the drawers. And then the goon opened the door and he's like, nope. And he just walked out. I'm like, that's the smartest goon.
Yeah, no, the goon would be in there going like, wait, if you told me that before I showed up, I wouldn't have shown up. Because
exactly
here somewhere.
Yeah.
He's mad normally, and Robin is dead. Nope, it's time to leave.
I'm not here. I didn't know that he did that. I'm leaving.
I have not committed a crime today.
Here.
No. And if Batman shows up, I'll be like, hey, I was gonna turn him in myself. I was gonna turn myself in, Batman.
I'm undercover.
And I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm working with you. I'm not working with him. Yeah.
This is my hero outfit. I'm just making adjustments to it.
My hero outfit's at the dry cleaners, so this is all I had.
Exactly. Jim Gordon and me are best friends. Yep, you know Jim Gordon. Yep, good guy.
I'm undercover as a criminal.
But yeah,
that does raise an interesting question though. Who would you rather have after you? A pissed off Batman, post Jason Todd, or a Joker that felt betrayed?
Neither.
Ooh, no.
Neither. I'm killing myself in both scenarios, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have to go with those two, and man, I would really, really, really like to see Ben Affleck come back in some capacity. I really, really would.
At least give him a Batman movie. Like, give him at least one movie,
Batman movie.
I don't understand how. I'm kind of reading the chat here. I don't understand how anybody could. And see, this is why I think Snyder was not necessarily right for the DC universe, because if Snyder was going around saying that the Robin that died was Grayson and not Jason Todd,
did they say it was?
They're saying
it was Dick Grayson.
Yeah,
God,
no,
we gotta have Nightwing, man.
Nightwing. Dick Grayson.
You cannot do that.
I'm like, if they did that to Dick Grayson, what happened to Jason?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. If Dick Grayson met his demise like that, Jason Todd his demise must be holy crap.
Exactly.
There's no way it would. It would absolutely be Jason Todd.
So if Snyder is really saying that stuff on social media, then I really don't want to see his Justice League.
Oh, come on. You know Jason, not Jason. You know Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder is just, I think he throws a lot of humor into it.
He's trolling.
what DC fans are gonna say. I mean, come on, like.
Well, yeah, and if he's trolling, that's fine. But if he really if that's who that really was, and if he was being serious, no,
I don't think so.
No.
I hope not. I
think at this point he can say anything, and it's not going to matter.
I hear you.
I still want to pay attention though, but yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that. I was like, "What? No, cannot be Dick."
Like,
Grayson.
hey, come on, Zach, you got me. You know that wasn't no Dick Grayson. Zach, come on, like.
Yeah. So that's my list. Danny, what's yours?
All right. I think
oh yeah.
I think Chris pretty much stole mine, but I can't stand Batman Forever. I think Val Kilmer was piss poor in my opinion. His Batman was okay. I'll give you that, but his Bruce Wayne was stiff. I didn't see any playboys in it. He was worried about I can't think of the girl name, not Vicky Vale.
Chase Meridian.
Yeah. And then that part when he was like ask her, do you like Batman better or Bruce Wayne? And he turned around and smiling and acting all all that crap.
Danny, come on, man. Like he had a reason to smile like after he turned away.
I know. I was
like, you know what, Batman, I'll cut you some slack on that one. Like
I don't care for that.
I agree. But I don't think it looks right when Batman smiles. If Batman does smile, if he does, that should be an indication that you're about ready to get your ass kicked. Really hard.
Right, but in that situation, though, at least he didn't let her see it, though. At least he turned around. Like,
well, that's true. That's true.
In the part talking about chicks dig, it's the car, isn't it? Chicks dig the car. My Lord. And I didn't like that one-seated Batman car. If you got Batman and Robin, why the hell is Batman in the car and Robin in a daggone motorcycle?
Well, the Batmobile was built before Robin was even around.
Yeah. Right. But Danny, the only reason why the whole chicks like the car thing, the only reason why I gave that a slight pass is because when Dick Grayson was around, like Dick Grayson would be going out on dates and stuff, and he would be kind of pestering, Batman, like, hey, when are you going out on a date? And they would end up in those kinds of conversations. So I was like,
okay, I'll give him that. I don't, but like I said, I would much rather watch the George Clooney one, not because of George Clooney, but more so of Mr. Freeze. I thought Mr. Freeze was entertaining, and I thought he made the movie watchable. I don't want to watch Batman Forever again. I did not like Tommy Lee Jones, and he's one of my favorite actors, but he was the wrong Two-Face.
I agree.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
And just don't care for it. Now, my favorite, I think we all on the same wagon, is Ben Affleck.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Affleck had the physique for it. When he was working out, he looked more believable.
Oh, absolutely.
Then, because I think I said this to Chris, I just don't see Michael Keaton picking up the Joker like he did over his head. He just don't have that physique. So I mean, that was not believable to me.
Maybe like a
Danny.
Trip, like a good swipe kick or something like that, but not a
right.
Because in the comics, I'm like, I've seen Batman bench press 1,000 pounds. Like Ben Affleck looks like he can do that.
I will say this about that, what you guys are saying. The one scene that kind of makes you realize that Batman isn't as strong as he is in the comics or the way that he's normally portrayed is where Michael Keaton reaches over to save Joker from falling, and he's struggling. He's like, I mean, because Batman.
Okay, but to be fair though, if he would have, let's just say if he would have snatched him up, there would have been no intensity. You have to make it look as though the hero is going to fail in order to make it sense.
Plus, he had that thing hanging from his foot.
No, that's true. That's true.
Right. But I mean, just think about it from a writing standpoint. Though.
Yeah.
I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get you. But no, I mean, no, you're fine. Ben Affleck, absolutely. Ben Affleck is the.
What I used to look about show Batman like his insane workouts.
Wow, what was that?
That was Danny's RoboCop impression.
Yes, that was Danny in the Matrix.
Oh, God.
Oh shit!
All right, say that again.
Smith, I'm out.
Better now, or it went back out.
No, you're good.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay. One thing I like too is in the comic books they show Batman working out. He be doing these insane workouts. They show a part of that in the Batman v Superman. He was working out, doing all the dumbbell stuff, all that crazy thing with the chains. And
Yeah.
so me, Ben Affleck he looked the part.
Right.
Physically, he was intelligent like Batman is. I just think that he did the best overall job as it comes to tapping into Batman. I think Ben Affleck hit it right on the head, and I wish with all my heart that he would come back because I definitely think he is the Batman. And I thought, and for a long time, I thought Christian Bale would be top, but Ben Affleck did it. So
Yeah.
I think
Ben
never had
Affleck
Christian
deserves
Bale
a
number
trilogy,
one.
though. Yeah,
I
Ben Affleck deserves a trilogy.
I agree.
yes, I like Christian Bale, but again, I feel like it's more real. I don't get that sense of comic book as much as I get it. And the thing what I like about Ben Affleck is it is that mix of reality, like the scenes in the house, in the lake house he had, the scenes there, and in the scenes I get that feeling in those scenes like I did in the Dark Knight trilogy. But when it switches to Batman, I get more of the comic book feel.
And I like Ben Affleck and Alfred's relationship better in.
I don't know if I've ever seen one that. Okay, wait. Let me rephrase it. I don't think I've ever seen a Batman or a Bruce Wayne and Alfred relationship that I didn't like until Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Those two just didn't get it right.
Really? Because, okay, but from my perspective, that Alfred was good the whole time. It's just
he was.
No,
Batman and
Alfred
Robin
was good. I'm talking about the relationship between Bruce Wayne and Alfred. Alfred was good, but the relationship was better with Keaton than it was with Clooney or.
Okay, Clooney don't count though, Chris. We know that was trash.
I understand, but I'm even saying with. And honestly,
at least Clooney came up with a cure for McGregor's disease.
Yeah, but the thing is that I think Bale and Kane and Affleck and who is his Alfred?
Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons.
Yeah,
those two were.
They were the best. They were the best.
They were great.
Yes.
But I did like Keaton with and God, I never remember that guy.
One thing about
Jeremy Irons,
I liked the original.
We never saw him really helping Batman.
It wasn't about the help.
He was the old school Alfred.
Yeah.
He was a snarky one. Like he was a kind of Alfred from the comics where when Batman would say something, he was going to say something to try to make him laugh or get him to show part of his humanity.
And you did see him. You did see Alfred help Batman in Batman Returns.
Yes, but the thing is that that Alfred was the father figure, the guy that would say, "Listen, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I know that your father." Or it was always that the guy that raised him. That's how I felt that Keaton's Batman or Keaton's Wayne looking at Alfred this is the man that raised me. This
I
is
put him third.
I
I like Bale's Alfred a lot better.
I like
the only all the Alfreds are good though. To be honest, there's never been a bad Alfred.
But who's the best one? Gotham Alfred, I think personally.
Well, that's good too.
Well, to be fair though, that's a particular Alfred. That's the more aggressive Alfred.
That's the Alfred I think people have been waiting to see. Is they talk about in the comics and stuff about how badass he used to be, how great he was as a combatant. Yeah. Like he's essentially what kicked off Batman's training.
But the Alfred that you get in Gotham is who the Alfred in the Dark Knight trilogy was, because he talks about that past, but we
didn't see it though, right?
So I think those two are closer together. And Irons, I get the feeling he's that. You don't see it.
Irons a badass.
Right, but it's like what I said though. The Irons one was more. He was trying to get that version of Batman to show more of his humanity, to keep him human by making jokes and Come on, man. You know that was funny.
That's another reason why Affleck deserves a trilogy, because Irons would be in that. And Irons is a great actor, and he played it so well.
Speaking of Jeremy Irons, like, he was great as Ozymandias in that Watchmen TV show. I don't care what anyone says.
I haven't watched it, so I don't know.
I couldn't get past like the 4th episode, man. It was just too much for me.
Sean,
Honestly, I loved
you're
him
breaking
in
up.
Man
I'm hearing
in
some
the
BS.
You sure you weren't listening to Chris?
No, it definitely sounded like you, Sean. I mean, you my boy, but you can't be saying stuff like that. Continue.
All right, Ords, you the last one up, brother. What are your 2 picks?
Best for last. Yeah, honestly, like, I think Chris kind of hit it on the head there. It is kind of a toss up if we're talking best Batman. It's a toss up between Ben Affleck's and Michael Keaton's. I feel like every Batman, if you were to take, again, kind of fusing characters, if you were to take a little bit of here and a little bit of there, you could make the perfect Batman. Because I feel like
throw George Clooney out.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch that movie and I'm gonna try to find some kind of, something to make him somewhat a decent. No, probably not. No, probably not.
Nah, you can't, man. Like, the only scene that I liked him in was when he was talking to Mr. Freeze, when he was trying to convince him that he was a good person. That was the only moment where I was like,
well,
all
and
right,
the
George,
part where
I'll give you that scene.
The part where he knows something's wrong with Alfred, that's a good 5 minutes in that movie. He's like,
right.
Yeah,
To me, that was good acting.
Yes,
but not so much. I saw him as Bruce Wayne or Batman. It was just a good acting scene. The only few in that entire movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, and for the best, the reason it's a toss up is because I love these moments in Batman movies where I go, now that's Batman.
Yeah,
and and with Ben Affleck, like, again, that scene in the warehouse. You see the fight scene and you're kind of enthralled. You're really deep into it. You're just like looking at the moves and you're like, holy shit, I've been waiting to see Batman fight like that for years. Mm-hmm. And then, and again, with the toss up with Michael Keaton being up there too, is I remember when I was a kid, man, and that scene, that opening scene, how dark, and it was kind of scary. And Ben Affleck Batman could kick the shit out of Michael Keaton. But I think Michael Keaton would scare the shit out of Ben Affleck a little bit, just how he approaches the fight, how Michael Keaton's Batman essentially sets up the scene. It almost reminds me of
scare him, huh?
Yeah.
Scare him. Like,
when Ben Affleck fight that terror demon in the first scene.
That's pretty cool. Okay, I'll give you that.
The way he fought that parademon in the beginning of Justice League, that was some of the sickest shit. Like,
that was cool.
That was cool.
Good.
I mean, he hung the dude like from the building just to, make him like freak out.
I can't see him being afraid of anyone. That's just the only.
Well, I'm just saying that when I was a kid and you see that opening scene, it sets the tone, and it's like you better look over your shoulder because you never know when the bat's going to strike, kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Burton vibe, it was a very dark and like thinking that Batman could pop out from anywhere at any time type of vibe.
Absolutely.
That was more so Batman Returns. That one was extremely dark. It was.
It was
my favorite.
That's my favorite.
Like Ord said.
It was kind of dark when he burned that guy up with the turbo on his car. That was
like, come on, Tim Burton, like tone it back a little bit. You put too much Burton in here.
I love that. I love Burton in
the clowns and everything. The way they did that was just beautiful. Although I felt like the clown stuff would have been great if there was like a Joker character introduced.
That's what I was saying. I was like, those villains were kind of misplaced.
One thing about that was that battering he had, and he punched in the number.
That was dope.
And then
that had me rolling. That was such a cool scene. I was like, okay. There are 10 targets.
I mean, yeah. And then you see the it was just so raw. You see the clowns they're like sitting there doing the work on the Batmobile to like mess it up, and it was just so tangible. That movie was so tangible. The special effect, it was that like crossover from like the CGI to the practical to the CGI, but the practical effects of this I thought were great. That's why those two kind of hit the nail on the head for the best, I think, for me. If I had to give an edge to one, I mean, Danny, you know me, bro. He's like, I'm a nostalgic guy, you know. So it's gonna have to be Michael Keaton, who edges out by like a half a point of Ben Affleck, because I feel like if we did get a Ben Affleck trilogy, I think that Ben Affleck could definitely do way better, and you know, given a little bit more time, I think he could definitely knock it out of the park. Now, as for the worst, and I you know hate. I hate to be, you'll repeat what other people have said, but the George Clooney Batman to me is the worst.
Oh, come on.
It's the worst, man. You know, after listening to everybody's points where it's like he's dry, he's this, he's that, you have to be able to play both Bruce Wayne and Batman. And if you can't play either of them, then what the hell is the point, man? You know, like that's why like I'm half okay about this Robert Pattinson situation. And I think somebody in the chat asked if he was going to be, you know, bring some justice to the character. I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to bring justice to the Bruce Wayne character. No doubt.
I hope he does, because right now I'm like, I've seen him in other movies, like recently, like The Lighthouse with him and Willem Dafoe. Great movie. Like,
I think he's done much better in his acting, and I'm not going to say that he was bad in Twilight. I'm just going to say that it didn't appeal to me.
No, he was bad in Twilight. Everybody was bad in Twilight.
Well, that was like his first big movie, wasn't it?
But
well, I mean, to be honest, like I found those movies to be entertaining, except the last two, but they were still bad though.
No, I actually think
last two of the
Fire came before Twilight.
You know, real quick, and the comment here says difficult to move in the '89 Batsuit. Yeah, that's kind of why they made it work. You know, they didn't have the technology to build these like suits.
Yeah, the was pretty good.
They made it work with so little. You know what I mean? They made it believable, even though he was like.
It's because of Michael Keaton's acting. He made it believable. You have to put the right person.
He couldn't hear either. He couldn't read lips.
I know you guys have heard me complain about this a number of times, and it's the only thing I will say across the board I struggle with the live action Batman is whenever they take off the mask, the eye makeup goes with it.
Yep, I know.
Yeah. I want that magic. Okay. Just
fair enough.
I make it
the scene with in Returns where he like rips off the mask, you know, with Catwoman, you know, and then the mic moves away. I just want to one time. I just
have you seen the version that was shot that it didn't go away?
I've never seen that.
They actually do. I have to find it, but
some deleted scenes.
If you want to show them what I just put up there, this is an artist rendering. And if he looks like that, I don't know. That doesn't look bad.
Everything
I gotta see like what he actually looks
really
like.
Looks
usually,
it
looks like they make things look better than sometimes when we actually get them.
Where did that come from?
That's just I just looked up.
It looks like they took the Ben Affleck Batsuit threw it on him.
Because everything I've read says that the Batsuit is going to be more comic book, like it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be like the gray and the blue type stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, we've never seen that Batsuit, so. Yeah, I look forward to seeing a live action gray and blue Batsuit. That would be really cool.
He's just gonna have to convince me, because right now I'm not like, oh, he can't act. But again, like I said earlier, you have to fit the comic book character. So once we get the trailer and I see him do his thing as Bruce, and then hopefully the last shot is like him on a rooftop, and I'm like, then I'm gonna start clapping and screaming and doing all kinds of random stuff. That's the reaction that I want.
Okay, quick question: have you guys seen that? It was that live action short, that fan film that was made of Batman. I think it was Batman versus Predator, Alien. No, it was like it was Batman fighting the Joker, and then the alien shows up.
It's called Batman Dead End.
If you guys haven't seen this, get on YouTube and watch it tonight, because it is actually pretty badass. And like the suit, and Sean, you know what I'm talking about. The suit that he's wearing is actually just like a fabric suit, and the guy fits it so well, and the suit looks so damn good on him. You're like, that's Batman, damn it.
I'll do you one better. Watch Batman City of Scars on the channel Bat in the Sun.
Oh, I love Bat in the Sun. I love Bat in the Sun stuff, dude. They're always good.
That dude that plays Batman, he's perfect, man. I'm like, how come they don't get this dude? Like, he was just
that might even be the same guy.
Which one did y'all like better, when Darth Vader defeat Batman, or vice versa?
Oh, Batman. Like, I like when Batman snapped him up because I'm like, this dude is taking out DC characters. I'm like, you mean to tell me you can't deal with some dude in a suit that has breathing problems? I'm like, come on, Batman. Like,
that was a cool one where the Batman versus yeah, what was that? Help me out. We just said it.
Darth Vader?
Yeah, the Batman and Vader one. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you give Batman a lightsaber, then
okay.
Oh my god, that is Darth Vader will put down his lightsaber. Like, no, I'm done.
He's like, I'm like 13. I gotta go.
Yeah, I don't care if Batman doesn't have the Force. He's got a lightsaber. So
he has Batman. That's all he needs. Like, that's enough.
But yeah, so Danny, those are my best and worst. Thank you. What was that, Danny?
You're breaking up. You're Matrix again.
Hey, can you hear me better?
A little bit.
Hello.
It's still
And I'm in control now.
bull. Sean, you've never been in control of anything.
Is that better?
Yeah, you're good.
Good.
There you go.
Okay, Chris said he had to go. You want to do it in your closing remarks? Anything you want to say? Tell the people where you're at. Anything you want to add? In case you want to know, I've thought of the topics for next Monday.
Yeah.
Cool. What are they? Do you know it?
I know what they are. I just made it up while we were talking.
Are you gonna tell us?
I'm going to tell you right now. We're going to do the top 4 female DCU characters, your favorite top 4.
Oh,
Your favorite top 4 female Marvel characters.
Oh, I like that
that's
one. That's
cake.
awesome. That's
That's cake.
dope.
So you have a whole week to ponder on that.
There are no female Marvel characters.
Wow.
I'm joking.
Oh, they're coming for you now, Sean.
Oh man, Sean, like I'm worried about you. Disney's coming.
The
Say again,
shield,
man.
shields are
What'd you say,
coming,
man?
bro.
What'd you say, man?
Hashtag cancel Sean Stackhouse.
Little
Yeah, Sean, you're gonna wake up. It's just gonna be a red screen like your account has been deleted by Disney.
Let's get a little. The shills are starting to show up. Some
You've
chili in there.
broken YouTube policies. You are now.
If from now on, if I only see like Disney ads on playing before my videos, then I might worry.
I agree. The couch humor Batman stuff is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that shit is ridiculous.
Let it here, baby.
Yeah. All right. So, do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I think we're all pretty much on par with what we're saying here. Really, okay. Except for Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton. I mean, you can mix all of them together, but in Batman, it's not as easy to do that as it is with Spider-Man. And Spider-Man, they're all really kind of close. And you can get away with that. In Batman, there are some real sufficient, like people that are deficient in their abilities to do it. I will say that while Val Kilmer wasn't bad as Batman, yeah, his Bruce Wayne was.
It was horrible.
Yeah, and then George Clooney, just please God, burn my eyes. Bat nipples, never, please, no.
Yeah.
But I think we're all right on that same line. And again, opinions. It's all about opinions. I mean, so, yeah, no, I mean, I don't disagree with anything anybody said, really. I mean, I can see how you say Andrew Garfield's the best. I mean, I don't disagree that there's not a case for it. With that said, though, I had a great time, Danny. Thank you very much. I'll get this list ready for next week. I believe we'll have to work on a time, but I believe, Danny, I'm going to have you on the Gospel According to Chris next week, hopefully. We'll work that out. But Gospel According to Chris returns next week. This week, again, on Thursday, we have the weekly Rumble. Please check out chaoscentral.com. That's chaos with a K. Check out the Real Review 3000, please. We're trying to get 1,000 subs, and we're going to be announcing a giveaway for 1,000 subs here in the next few days. Got this really cool thing we're going to be doing to give away.
So you're gonna have a giveaway and Panda Suit Mary all for 1,000?
Yeah.
All right, we got to push this, man. Let's push it.
Chris, don't forget, Chris, we still gotta have our 10-hour conversation.
Okay.
Oh God.
We will
Actually, you know what? You should have Terrence on Gospel According to Chris, or actually, probably even better, the Weekly Rumble.
I would have.
Oh yeah,
Weekly Rumble would be awesome.
I'd have to do it on a day I didn't have to work. Well, you see, Terrence, if you want to be on the Weekly Rumble, I'm going to get you on there.
For those of you who don't know what the Weekly Rumble is, go over to Chris's channel, Chris Knight Real Review 3000. Check it out. I love this format. It is a fun sandbox to play in. Yep. And I tell you what, you'd be surprised what 5 minutes takes out of you when you have to talk about something.
Boy, you got to pull some stuff out there.
5 minutes straight. Yeah, that was brutal. Even for stuff I was not looking for.
Yeah. Thank God for mulligans.
Yeah.
Go check out
Real Review. What we're doing with it. I really do.
Yeah.
It's turning into something. Well, I think it was fun to begin with. I think it's turning into something even more fun now.
Who did you steal that format from, Chris?
Nobody. That came from my crazy brain completely. I mean, like I said, it's a little bit of a mix of several things, but again, I'll tell you. So Zod and I were talking about doing this, just me and him, doing a discussion stream, and I said, what would be really cool is if because everybody knows we talk a ton, is if we had to time ourselves. And I knew that long-winded people would be like, oh my God, how in the world can I only talk for 1 minute about this subject or something? That's where it started. And
time's up.
Exactly. All right, guys. Yeah, please check us out on the Real Review 3000. And Danny, thank you very much. Mads, Ords, Taryn, on guys, thank you very much for being a part of this. I enjoy these conversations. I got to run, but great lists, everybody, and have a great night, guys. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. We'll talk to you. But
take it easy, guys. Bye.
All right, Mads. Any final comments?
I will pretty much agree. Yeah. The Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, that they're pretty much interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone of us would want to meet either one of them in a dark.
I think to see them team up, that'd be great. Like,
shoot, everybody is dead. Like,
yeah, they're all dead, dude. They're all dead.
If they think about teaming up, everybody dies.
Those are just facts. Yeah.
That would be awesome and terrifying at the same time.
Yes.
Where if you take like the three main Spider-Men, you could lay them over like Disney did with filming Snow White.
Mm. Yep.
Then you would have like the perfect.
Right.
I agree.
All right, Ords, any final words?
Final words. Whether you love superheroes or whether you love specific superheroes or renditions of that superhero, man, it's just nice that the stuff exists. It gives us something to talk about. We can come together. We can agree to disagree. We can like the same thing. We can dislike the same thing. As for Spider-Man, he's one of those characters as a kid. He was my favorite. So I'll always give Spider-Man Project a chance. If I don't like it, I'll be honest about it, but I'll always give it a chance. And then with Batman, again, one of my favorites, all-time favorites. And it wasn't until I was older that I found DC to be my favorite. I just love that universe. I love the darkness behind it. I feel like the characters are very complex within it, but I'm just glad the stuff exists and that we have something to talk about like this, man. That passion that we share for this stuff. And, it's funny when Danny's up there doing his little heart attack routine, it just shows the passion that we have for this stuff. So I'm just glad that we're here to talk about this sort of things, whether you love it, hate it, whether you love Batman or whatever specific Batman, whatever specific Spider-Man. I'm just glad we have something to talk about like that. So, and thank you, Danny, for letting me come in late and be on this stream, man. I love this and this streams that you do. And thank you, man. Sorry I can't always be here, but I do enjoy it.
No problem, bro. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you, sir. All
right, Terrence, what's your final thought, sir?
I'm going to start with saying that I'm saddened that this stream can't go for another 10 hours. Aside from that, had a really good time. Everyone here on the panel is always fun to talk to. And, I love listening to everyone's opinions. Man, there's just so much to talk about. If only I had another 10 hours that I could really dive in.
And every 10 hours of that would be entertaining if it was you talking about it.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
I love your stuff, by the way.
Oh, no, thank
you get me going in the morning at work, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
You need to watch, man. He does one on James Bond. That is the funniest one I've seen.
I don't know. I was watching one, man. He's like, he just come up and bitch slap that. I'm just like, oh my God. No, he's like, he'd slap that bitch. I'm like in my car, late for work, laughing my ass off.
Yeah, Terrence doesn't hold back in his videos.
I love that shit, dude. It's great. But the best part about it is it flows so well.
Yeah,
like it's just one after like boom, 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 boom. Hey, thanks for watching. Peace.
yeah. I watched like the review of like every single all 12 issues of Crisis. I watched like boom, 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 boom. You know, and
I mean, he could be like, you know, and then she was over here and he did that, and then she slapped that motherfucker over there and he did this and that. You're just like, it all makes sense.
Then you hear Terrence out.
Yep.
I just love
sometimes that comes too soon. You're like, oh no, it wasn't done yet.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the humans from? Where when you start?
Oh shoot, man, I need like 80 hours for that, but I'll try to shorten it started when I was 14 and I was going through a lot of bullying and, you know, just humans being cruel to me. So I guess at that point, you know, I just was like, man, fucking humans. And I saw that there wasn't really a strong connection between, you know, me and people, and their thoughts and ideas like always clashed, and they, you know, would always say that I was a freak and a weirdo and all these things. And like, I just couldn't connect with them. So that's when the humans thing kind of came into play. And at first it was the whole like, you know, why is he saying that? That sounds weird. But then, you know, once individuals were exposed to me for a great length of time, then they saw that I was serious about that, you know, it wasn't something that that I would say to be funny. It's like really how I feel, that there's that separation.
It's owning that disconnect. Yeah, it's no, I understand. I get it, dude. It's like you're stepping back and taking a look at the way society is structured and the way humans live within that structured society. You see it all happening while everybody else is mindless to it, and I get it. That makes sense, dude.
Yeah, like
Hey, man,
so,
after
like
comments online yesterday, I'm joining him.
No, sure.
If that's what it is to be human, I don't want to be it.
Nope.
yeah, it's just like, and then like when I was exposed to you know, comic books and things, you know, I would, you know, read about characters that were having these issues, but it was just, I didn't have you know, a Superman or a Charles Xavier to come out and help me when I had like so many people against me. I'm like, that'd be cool if I could go to a school, or if I could come across some powers. Well, maybe not that part because people would have died, but like, but the rest of that, like, it just would have been nice. But like, it's just in reality, it doesn't work that way. So you really have to kind of look out for yourself and build up your own mental and physical strength. So
right,
that's what I'm about. In short.
Good deal, man. That's good stuff. Your brother's entertaining too, man. When y'all talked about that Conor McGregor fight,
yeah,
that shit was funny.
Yeah, Tremaine. Yeah, we have a bunch of videos with us together, and you know, with any given topic, it's pretty entertaining for us because we're very different in the way that we think. So, you know, Tremaine will say something. I'm like, Tremaine, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's not how it is. Like, we'll be going back and forth, so you really get two different perspectives. So.
That's funny. All right, Mr. Sean, you're up next, sir. Any final?
Oh man, I don't really have much more to add. Let's talk about Terrence some more. No, this was a great stream. Batman was definitely harder for me than Spider-Man because I think the choice was a little more clear with who was the best and worst out of. Well, we haven't had as many actors, I guess, as well, but yeah, definitely Batman made me struggle, and kind of like and also I don't know if he's still here or not, but I believe in a battle, Dr. Manhattan would in fact take out Superman.
Oh God, I gotta write this down.
Oh yeah, in the Doomsday Clock, I read that one. Like,
did you finish? I haven't finished yet. Did you finish that, Terrence?
I did.
There was a couple in the chat. Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it, but
I haven't read it yet. I just got the last issue for my subs.
I'm just letting you know, like, that once you get to the ending, like, it's just on some whole
wow, the
Bro.
amount of thought that was put into this.
Bro, let me ask you this real quick, Terrence. Let me ask you this: what it was like that first Rebirth issue with Kid Flash in the Speed Force, right? And he's trying to get a hold of somebody. He gets a hold of Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
That last panel where he sees something shining in the cave, looks over there, and it's the comedian pin. It says we're watching you. Was that not like a seriously amazing moment?
It was.
You're just like
wait, hold on. That's not it. I'm imagining that. Hold on. Let me like get a closer look.
yeah, dude. I just had to ask, dude, because that to me is one of my favorite comic book moments in recent history. So
I'm asking one quick question before we go. Have any of y'all been seeing the Deathstroke animation?
Yeah, I watched.
Is that good?
Yeah,
yes, very good.
Really good.
All right, I gotta sign up for this fucking DC
There's only
thing.
been one episode.
No, this is on the CW Seed, man. You can do it for free.
Yeah, go on the CW Seed and they have episode 1. I've been waiting on episode 2. I don't know.
Yeah,
I was gonna watch Batman Returns after this, but I think I know.
That's a good watch too. But I would recommend watching the Deathstroke. It'll take you about maybe 30 minutes to watch.
Dude, he's my favorite villain from the whole Batman, the DC universe. My favorite villain.
Oh yeah, he's
ain't that? And it's an hour long. I thought it was an hour long.
No, it's 30 minutes. Yeah,
Deathstroke.
Then it seems longer with the freaking commercials every 10 seconds.
Yeah. Like if you don't have commercials, like without it, it's just 30 minutes.
I got you. Yeah, it's awesome, man. That's
okay.
That sucker might be tougher than Wolverine and some of that shit he be doing.
Yeah,
like Deathstroke is a monster. Like that's why, like when I have these conversations when people are like, man, like the DC versus Marvel, I'm like, don't go there. We would just use a couple DC characters and they'll take out 99% of them. And all you would have left are like really just the one above all and like the living tribunal. That's what you would have left. Everybody else would get mowed down.
I love it.
But I wanted to add too that.
Well, who'd you think would win between Deathstroke and Deadpool?
Well, here's the thing: if Deathstroke gets the Oramasa blade, which is associated with Shang-Chi, I hope they show that in the Shang-Chi movie. Because he has a lot of ancient weapons that can kill people like Wolverine and Deadpool. So if he gets a hold of that, then Deadpool is dead. But if not, then Deadpool's gonna win because of his regenerative capabilities. Because like Slade has it too, but it's not on the level of Wade.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like
they shot him to shit in that first episode, man.
Right. But see, with Deadpool, it's like with him, you can blow him up and he could come back to where Slade, if you do that, it's not going to work the same way.
It all depends on how much you blow him up and how long it takes Deadpool to regenerate. I mean, Deathstroke is one of those guys. He's smart enough to find a way to make sure that he either doesn't regenerate right away or he's going to find something.
Right, but from a combative standpoint, just hand-to-hand combat, they're almost neck and neck. So it really have to come down to Slade being aware of what he can do to just get rid of him permanently. Because if not, then Deadpool is going to win 99%.
Well, I think that Deathstroke definitely is the better hand-to-hand combat fighter. More, I think he's just better overall. But again, with the better regenerative capabilities, Deadpool can take more hits and keep on taking. He'll wear down Deathstroke. So yeah, I think it's one of those like an unmovable object meets an unstoppable force type situation.
Yeah. The only reason why I said that they're neck and neck,
Flash versus Superman.
Yeah.
The only reason why I said that they're neck and neck is because Deadpool has gone up against Marvel's best martial artists, people like Iron Fist.
Yeah.
And they consider him a problem. So if you can roll with them, you can roll with Deathstroke. But it's just really a matter of, okay, who's writing this thing? Because if you're going to be fair, then realistically, how likely is it that Deathstroke is going to be able to find a weapon that's going to take out Deadpool? Like, we're going to have enough time for that.
Right.
It's just a matter of circumstance. So
I agree.
Either or could win, but you would be smart in that battle to put your money on Deadpool just because of the fact that it's hard to kill him.
I'll give you that.
I think at the end of the day, it's which side is writing the comic.
Right. But
what I was going. It's my same thing with the with Flash versus Superman. Whose comic is it? That's the one that's going to win 90% of the time.
Yeah. Flash is gonna dust that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
I mentioned that in my video that until they take it off Earth, there's never going to be a definitive answer because Superman will always hold back.
yeah, Superman is pretty hacked, but that Speed Force is something else. When you can outrun death, you can do anything. But to add, Danny, to your question, just to let you know, whenever I'm watching comic book material, like it hits me in a certain way that it won't for a lot of individuals, because like while I'm having fun, like because of like the stuff that I went through, it has an extra level of intensity. Like if I'm watching pretty much any of them, but if it's something specific like X-Men, for example, like the whole freak weirdo thing, and you having groups of people like just bashing you verbally or saying they're going to do stuff to you, like I respond to that in a certain way. Like it's almost like I become part of those scenes because I'm like, I know what that's like, minus the whole powers thing.
Yeah. Well, man, I hate you went through that, but like you definitely came through it, man, and I don't think I'd fuck with you. so I'm glad you were able to strong enough to mentally and physically get through that, bro. And
Yeah.
man, you are a wealth of knowledge, bro. I learn something every time I'm on the channel with you about different aspects of this thing. So I'm glad you're part of the community, bro.
Yeah. Thank all of you for accepting me. I mean, it means a lot to me.
Well, we've been on 2 hours and 25 minutes. I see Sean left abruptly, but I want to tell all y'all, please follow these people. Mad's channel, Ords, Terrence. They have good material, good content. We all try to come together and lift each other up and try to get each other to our goals that we set. And I know we're going to do it. I feel very good about this. Sean and Chris and I have something cooking that's going to start next month. We're working on it. I think everybody enjoyed. But like I said, I want to see y'all here, if all possible, next Monday. We're going to do your four favorite female heroes from DC and from Marvel. That should be very interesting because I know we're not going to have the same four. I guarantee you we won't have the same four. But I think that's going to be very.
Eventually we should do villains.
We should do what?
Villains.
We're going to do 4 female villains?
No, just not female or whatever, just villains. One of these days we should do a villains one.
Okay, I'll put it down for the following Monday.
I'm down for the 4 female, 4
All right. I want to give the ladies a shot because we've been doing this for about 4 or 5 weeks now. We really hadn't focused on that, so I want to make sure that they're represented. I'm not sexist. I like all the females as well as I do the males. So we're going to do that, and I think the week after we're going to take your idea, and we're going to do top 10 villains. DC or Marvel, or if you want to do, would y'all rather do DC villains or Marvel villains, or a combination of both?
I think a combination of both.
Yeah.
Well,
or we do top 5 of each. Just do top 5 of each. Top 5
like
DC, top 5 Marvel.
Yeah, because 10 is going to take a while for you to.
Yeah, and that way you got your 10 still, but it's 5 in each category.
Yeah, we're going to do 5 Marvel. We go around, then discuss it. Then the second hour we do 5 of DC.
Now, when I say Marvel and DC, are you talking about in general, or is this just like movies and shows?
In general, right?
This going to be in general. This going to cover comic book, TV shows. What are your 5 top villains in DC in any format? What are your 5 top villains in Marvel in any format? It'll be cartoon, comics, animation, live action. It don't matter.
I like that.
Yeah.
That'll be 2 weeks down the road. But next week could be the 4 females of each.
Okay.
All right. Well, right quick, tell everybody where they can find you at, Mads.
again, hey y'all, you can find me at Mads Mama Bear on both Twitter and on YouTube. Also Thursdays, me and the other queens, we randomly have a stream, usually about 9:30, a live stream. I'm not sure whose channel it's going to be on this week, so if you follow me on Twitter, watch. That will be posted before too long.
All right, Terrence, tell the people where they can find you at, sir.
Yes, humans. If you go over to Tremaine Terrence, you will find me and my brother Tremaine. There are over 8,000 videos for you to watch, and go in there and see whatever you like. And I mean, we do movie reviews, reviews of TV shows, sports topics, random blogs, just really whatever we feel like doing. So if you like a variety of things and you're not afraid to hear, 100% what comes from a person's heart, then maybe that's the place for you.
Good deal. And last but not least, Orange Board. Tell the people where they can find you at, sir.
Oh, you guys can find me over at youtube.com/ordsboard. I will be doing pop culture news and video game streams. Come check me out. I am bored and I could always use the company. You also can find me at Twitter at the same handle, Instagram at the same handle, although I don't do a lot of stuff on Instagram because I'm a boomer and I'm still trying to figure that out. But you guys can check me out on those. And I do have a Facebook, but I challenge you to find it. With that being said, thank you, Danny. Thank you, Terrence. Thank you, Mads. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Chris. You guys are amazing. Mads, it's been a while since I've talked to you, and it kind of breaks my heart. So, but
take your girlfriend from you, though.
Yeah, it's okay. That's totally fine. She loves you, and when she heard it, she heard that you were in the stream. She's like, she popped up on real quick. So, but yeah. Anyway, you guys come check me out, man. I'd love to have you. You can come talk shit to me all you want. It's cool. I love it.
Good deal. Last but not least, I'm Danny Graham. This is my channel, Comet Chat. You can find me on YouTube at Comet Chat. You can find me on Twitter at Comet Chats with an S. I do this every Monday night. Also, I usually join Chris on his show, the Weekly Rumble, and I try to do something on Sundays. But thanks again for all your support. If it's your first time seeing my channel, please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. I don't want you to miss any material that I upload. And please give me a positive thumbs up and leave any kind of feedback. I will read it and I will respond back to you. So until next time, be safe, stay cool, and peace.